Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the ESL Premiership. We're plugged in, live, and ready to rumble with week 3 of the show, if I could talk, you know. Small technical difficulties have been going on today, much like me trying to pronounce words. Unfortunately, we have had to default to our first game this time around. JKM and the Pensioners will not be playing to kick off the stream, meaning we'll be swiftly moving on to our second game of the day to kick it off. But before that, let's go through the normal pre-show and introduce the main man who sat beside me. It's Jake Elton.
Hi, Jack.
How you doing?
I'm
there
doing
you go.
fine.
That was
Again,
in sync already.
We're already so in sync, you know. Our brain's just on that same wavelength. Yeah, I'm doing good, you know. Enjoying myself. I'm in front of a camera today. I don't know why they've let me out, but I'm sure I'll say something unreasonable. But, you know, we'll see.
That's what you're here for. Obviously, you know, Jake normally forced back into his observing hobble. That's been traded over. Benjamin SEO doubt he's in there in a minute. Do you feel like he's going to do a spectacular job? Is he going to live up to the Jake?
I mean, it won't be as good.
Right.
You know, he's been studying, to be fair. He's been putting in the work backstage. You know, he's got his notes. He knows what every camera does. You know, he's ready. He's ready, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it.
We'll have to try and see how that one goes with SEO. One thing we can delve into straight away is last week's results, and we can break these down a little bit. Now, Jake, obviously, you have a bit of a different perspective. You were here last week. Me and Ben were absent. We were in, obviously, Santa Monica. I walked into a pole. It was very warm. Let's go over this. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the server, Jack.
Yes.
Exciting games, as you can see. You know, we'll take it one game at a time. BuzzKill with a relatively easy win over Reflex. You know, they've been looking good recently, BuzzKill have. I'm quite interested to see, you know, what they'll do today, but, you know, we'll leave that for later. Moving on, Pensioners, they kept up their form versus Royals there on Train. They've actually been playing very nicely. These 2 weeks, they've actually had quite solid T sides. You know, they actually look quite well oiled for the mix that they are, but unfortunately, default loss today. You know, Shaney baking too many cakes, staying too late. What can you do? Moving on, absolute slobber knocker on Inferno, of course. It's an Endpoint Fierce showdown. And that just kept going, and then finally Fierce took it 25-23. Overtimes are always a bit weird, Jack. And that, very exciting game. And then finally, to close things out, London absolutely stomped Wind and Rain on Dust 2. It was 69, but I'm pretty sure it was a very, very clear first half. I think it was 11-4 or something, so not too troubling for them there.
It's quite a one-sided game. Well, I wonder how that has affected our standings overall, which we'll move on to. As you can see, Pensioners were currently the top team, obviously sat there with 2 wins. Unfortunately, because of what we spoke about at the start of the show, though, they are going to be taking a default loss going into today's week of games, meaning that that top spot is probably really going to be up for contention for someone to try and overtake them here, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. And to be fair, I'm looking at all those teams from 2nd to 5th, really. They're sort of in a bit of a battle, these 4 teams, of who can sort of get ahead and become the new UK #1, because for a while it just hasn't looked like anyone. You know, Endpoint held that title for so long, but for the last, you know, honestly, if we're talking a year or so, they just haven't looked very strong. London looking amazing online. You know, they've got some really nice EU results. BuzzKill, you know, came into the Premiership, really showed their worth that year. And obviously Fierce, you know, they had a nice run with Imi as the coach in that team. However, this season going into it, you know, a bit of a swap between Endpoint and Fierce with their coaches. And yeah, they're looking to solidify where they stand in the scene at the moment.
Yeah, so we can try and see who is actually going to be a bit more of a top dog going forward. But in terms of the top dog big boy plays, we definitely have a few gems that went down last week. So we're going to fire those up and let you guys revel in some of that glorious goodness. Some dazzling plays there from last week, but obviously the standout point is who was the main man? Who stole the limelight, Jake? We're going to find out. There was a bit of a fan vote going on Twitter. We do have the results now pumping their way through, and it seems like ZNX with the big Deagle ace is actually going to take that top spot.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, obviously Deagle ace, very flashy. At the end of the day, they lost the game, so it doesn't really matter, Jack. That's
true. You know, you can have those show-stopping moments, but if you can't win the round, that's all that matters.
Exactly. To be fair, my personal favourite, I'd probably go with that laney 1v3. You know, it was 2 beautiful kills through a smoke. Just dirty.
Well, there you go. That's why it's an opinion piece, everybody. If you've got a different opinion, you're not happy with what Jakey's saying, head out on Twitter at the end of today's show. Get involved. You'll see the poll that will be live. Hashtag ESL Prem as well if you have any thoughts throughout today's broadcast, and let us know why you think a different player should have the top play of the week. Jake, you've never had a top play of the week, have you?
I suppose not, Jack.
No.
Yeah, cheers for bringing that up.
Yeah, just a little dig. Just trying to, you know, knock you down.
Don't worry, I live with the shame every day.
Good.
You know, I can't really look at myself in the mirror anymore. I sort of just spend most of my days, you know, I wake up in a bit of a foggy haze and then stay in bed for a few more hours and then finally just sort of fall out of bed.
Start observing.
Yeah.
It goes from there.
I make myself sick, Jack.
Wow. Wow. Well, that is fantastic. Something that will also make you feel sick with absolutely incredible things is our Prem VP for last week. So let's delve into that. Ooh, Link with some absolutely filthy plays throughout the course of the day. Jake, you're more of a numbers man. Obviously, you know, some say you did sub in as your first part-time job, helping out at an accountant firm. So I feel like you would be the one to really break down those numbers for me in terms of what Link was doing over the course of that day.
I mean, I'm not sure about that first statement. I think you're stereotyping there, Jack, but moving on. Link, absolute amazing performance on Dust 2 there versus Wind and Rain. 34 kills, as you can see.
Yep.
I remember observing that game, I was happy enough just to slap it on Link and go, you know what, go kill, mate. And he was just getting multi-kills every round. You know, he was absolutely demolishing them. And to be fair, Link, you know, he's had a bit of a weird time these last couple of years in the scene, you know, moving from team to team. He used to play, obviously, on this fierce lineup now, not the same organisation, obviously, at the time, but he's always had that sort of star fragging potential, and he's never really found it in those other teams. However, in this London lineup, he seems to have really found his home here, you know. Ash and the boys clearly doing their homework, how to best utilise him, and yeah, I mean, it shows.
Yeah, that is good. I think he's finally sort of found his confidence there to know how he can play around the other 4 teammates. Moving on though, Hawk from BuzzKill. What was the caveat to that one?
Yeah, obviously the IGL for that BuzzKill team, he can frag as well, Jack, and he's probably one of the sneakiest players we've got in the scene at the moment. He's always going to be behind you in one of those, you know, clutch scenarios. So if you're in a 2vx, you know, a 1vx, just keep an eye on that mini-map, and I think Hawk will be behind you.
Wow, cheeky. Absolutely filthy stuff. Connor, of course, the Irish espionage man. Again, a player that can be quite sneaky at times, but definitely proves himself with his full frontal assaulting, Jake, posting up some big numbers, 26 kills there.
Yeah, I mean, we've both seen him at the Gfinity Elite Series. You know, when he's on the ball, you know, it's hard to stop him. Once he gets fragging, Connor, he's one of the most talented players we have in the scene.
Definitely multi-talented as well. Obviously a player that can basically synergize between a rifle or an AWP depending on what he's needed. And finally, it is the big man himself, Mighty Max from Endpoint. 35 kills there of a 1.03 KD, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, nowadays, probably the most experienced player we have left in the UK scene at the moment, who still plays, still active, you know. He's chasing that dream with Jack. And yeah, he's still putting up the numbers, at least in these UK games. He's dominating the server at the moment, Jack.
Yeah, he's still been looking good. Obviously, we have Mighty Max rounds for a reason. There was quite a few of those last season. Are we going to start to see a few more develop over the course of this one? Only time will tell.
Hopefully. Yeah.
But, well, yeah, right? You know,
Yeah.
you got to hope. You got to hope there's some Mighty Max magic left. Maybe a Mac 10 round.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe an 8K round, Jack.
You never know.
Mm.
You really never know. One thing we do know, though, is that we have a glorious lineup of games. Let's delve straight into those. Obviously, here's the schedule for today. The opening match to watch, the hot match, if you will, Jake. That's BuzzKill versus Fierce to kick us off.
Yeah, absolute banger getting straight into it. Definitely going to be the match to watch. These two teams, you know, like I said, they're both on this sort of contention for the top team in the UK, and it's actually going to be very interesting seeing how they meet up. And because, to be fair, we don't actually see them interact that often. We haven't had too many past results with these two specific teams, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, Jack.
Yeah, this will be a bit of a different take on things. So hopefully a pretty big blast off of a game to kick us off today. Moving on from that, our third game of the night, technically, of course, will be Endpoint versus Reflex.
Yeah, I'm thinking it should be a relatively easy game for Endpoint. I mean, I'd love to say that with full confidence, but you never know what headspace Endpoint are actually in. So whether they actually show up and they play to the best of their abilities, it should be a relatively simple game. However, Reflex could obviously upset them because Endpoint, they're not the strongest team when it comes to a best of one in a random, you know, online UK Prem group stage game, you know. Yeah,
we have seen them fall before, obviously, quite historically a few times. Normally when the veto doesn't really go their way and we see Cash come up for some reason. Final game of the night, of course, though, London versus the Royal Boys. Will this one be a gem, Jake?
It could be. I'm going to have to side with London going into that. However, Royals, you know, they've already picked up a win here versus BuzzKill, I believe. And, you know, they'll be fighting. You know, they're going to be hanging on this season, I think, Royals.
Yeah. Try and scrape and scrim their way through. But let's talk more about that first game then. The opening one of the night. Obviously, BuzzKill going into this. Some of the players that were a little bit more unknown at the start of last season really started to build some hype behind them. Now pretty familiar faces around the scene. Are they looking to really expand themselves and prove their stuff this season, Jake?
Absolutely, Jack. I mean, you look at that BuzzKill lineup and you do start to see some familiar names now in the scene. You know, Russ sort of debuted for some people at that Asus ROG tournament that I played in. Obviously, you know, I'm so experienced, etc., etc. And yeah, I mean, he came into the Premiership and he was putting up some outrageous numbers with the AWP, you know, really strutting his stuff. Moving on, Cypher, another good role player in the team, as well as JSav. You know, they're just plugging away, doing their jobs. Hawk, nice IGL, you know, someone sort of came out the woodwork, you know, no one really saw him coming. Didn't actually decide to play with them for these minor qualifiers that they qualified for, Jack. They got through to the round of 16, you know, probably the biggest game of their career so far, you know, the minor, major, etc. Their one real goal in, you know, the CS scene, and yeah, he decided to go to the cricket game instead, I think, Jack. So, yeah, I mean, that makes me question where his heart is really at, you know? I mean, you should really be sort of putting everything into Counter-Strike at the moment if you're in this sort of team, you know. Amazing opportunities for some of these players, but, you know, could just be a one-off. I'll let him off.
I suppose it was quite a warm day.
It probably was a warm day, you know, getting the sun and...
Yeah.
Yeah, and then finally on that lineup, Hype. Hype is back. He's just Hype nowadays, and... to be fair, he's actually become a real veteran of the scene. You know, back in the day, he had some issues, you know, communication. It was his younger days, so he's a bit more childish, and he went away. You know, he played in Playing Ducks, and he came back, and he's been putting numbers out very steadily, you know, very consistent, and his experience has really started to show. Yeah, we've definitely seen that transition come through from Hype, and he's been looking better and better every day. But let's see where the battlefield for this one will be. We have that veto. It is going to be wrapped up and sent straight over to Train to kick this one off, with BuzzKill starting on the CT side, Jake. I mean, Train's an interesting one because Train already lost to Royals. BuzzKill already lost to Royals on Train even.
I knew what you meant.
Yep.
I got it, yeah. I have the nod.
So it's interesting to find them back there, but hopefully they've just looked at that game, saw the mistakes that they made, rectified those, and they're ready to battle fierce here, Jack.
Potentially so. Train can definitely be a bit more of an interesting one. Obviously, we've seen what, again, Hype can do on a map like this. He's actually been one of the ones that is more important in terms of a role player on Train. More so than anything, though, it's just the interest of how well Russ is going to perform for me. He had a little bit of a slow start in the first week. Obviously, that can be marked up to whatever at the point in hindsight. We'll see where he goes from there. If he actually is back to that star-AWPing form that we saw from the season prior, that's when they're really going to have a lot more impact. Train, very scope-heavy map. There's a ton that you can do with it if you're being able to just block off those angles with the AWP. Russ didn't really look like he was that confident to try and take the fights last time around. And when he did, he was pretty much getting shut down. I want to see more of that old-school Russ coming back, where he was really just living it large, living a bit of his movie, trying to take those fights.
Yeah, definitely want to see Russ play confidently, because honestly, he should be going into the server and thinking he's on the same level as everyone else here. There shouldn't be anyone that scares him in this game. Fierce are probably one of the most confident teams we have in the Prem. You've got players like Fry who will just walk out and headshot you. He won't even smile, just dead face, So that is quite scary to play against. So yeah, like you said, Russ really needs to sort of dig deep and find his form here.
See what he's got in those pockets.
He does,
some AWP kills, some rifle kills, some of these things potentially. But we do see, obviously, back on week 1, they already took a loss over on Train. And that was where I was talking about. It was quite sluggish from Russ on a lot of the faces he was going for. Again, though, back into it this week. It's a new matchup, new time to try and really sort of prove yourself. You do need to go into this and pretty much try and play with not too much respect for your opponent, though. As you said, Fierce, high-caliber players from the UK scene, obviously very well bred and buttered. Everyone knows who these people are, what they've achieved, and what they've done in the past. Scary factor is, if you play with too much respect for them, you're just going to get bodied.
Yeah, and now just looking at those Fierce results, I mean, they are fully set to be having an absolute blinder of a group stage here, Jack. They demolished London 16-8 on Inferno there. And London, I mean, one of the top contenders at the moment, just to absolutely breeze past them, they'll be laughing. They snuck past the Endpoint on that overtime game, always a bit of a slog that game, and, whoever wins that, might not fully deserve it, but, if you can get over the line in those overtime scenarios, all power to you. And yeah, if they can take BuzzKill, they should be straight onto it. Pensioners probably going to be a difficult game if they play it, of course. And then Reflex, they shouldn't struggle.
No,
so, yeah.
That is true. Obviously, the only unfortunate factor, obviously, with Fierce is because it was an overtime win with the Pro League rules.
Sure, okay.
You get that one less point,
points.
right? So it's a little bit worse in terms of the skewing of the actual format, but it's still a win. They're still getting at least the majority of points.
And it's over a team like Endpoint, who theoretically should be beating other teams in this, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good result,
Yeah, in terms of the squad you're looking at, you've pretty much played the hardest two first, right? You've had London as your opening game and then moving into Endpoint. Those are the two teams that right now are kind of very hot contention of who really is the top of the scene, which is, the point you were going into before. So Fierce, looking like potentially they could have a pretty good overall run. If they do take the rest of their games, they're still going to top that group. So they just really need to try and keep up this level of CS they have been debuting.
Yeah, another interesting point is technically all these teams should be getting better as the season goes on. A few new lineups, not all completely, but a couple of roster changes here and there. So everyone's still sort of finding their feet, properly discovering their map pools and strengthening little areas. So for Fierce to have such a strong start, they can sort of put their feet up by the end of the season and just walk straight through to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Because, the thing is, them being one of the squads that actually had more of a consistent roster going into this season, they haven't had to worry as much. Whereas you look at a team like Endpoint, they're sticking flex tape everywhere, trying to keep the water in that's just leaking out, having to, rotate players in. At that point, they've got some Gorilla Glue. Other brands of glue are available, of course, and they've, had to pour that in to try and leave the Thomas-shaped hole repaired. It's a lot of issues.
Endpoint's a weird one. I feel like finally, though, you look at this lineup on paper, it's a strong enough 5. You've got Imi there as coach, got Whitey there as analyst. You've got a lot of pieces going into this Endpoint lineup, and if they can sort of brute force it out, get past these first months of just teething problems and the little arguments that you just can't, you can't focus on those too much. You've just got to get to it, start pracking, and like I said, someone like Imi standing behind them who has the most experience as a UK coach. You can look at Neil M to sort of rival that, but Imi, proved himself with NRG, really. You can tell that he's got the proper brain on his shoulders for CS. And, if him and Max can sort of put aside their differences, it's been a bit of a turbulent few years, Jack. One of our most famous duos is Imi and Mighty Max, but if they can come together, they can actually make something really, really beautiful from that Endpoint lineup. And if it all works out, this could be the team to make it.
There you go. The new future.
I've said that pretty much every time Endpoint have ever made a lineup anyway. So I'm sure they'll have 3 new players by this time next week, Jack.
Yeah, well, that's all that matters. Obviously, though, our first game to kick this one off, BuzzKill versus Fierce, will be starting very briefly. We're going to be kicking that off on Train. Fairly important matchup for Fierce. So on the other hand, if you look at it for BuzzKill to try and at least get some momentum back in their favour. BuzzKill starting off on the CT side. Fierce will be your tease for this one.
Yeah, we're getting straight into it, Jack. Got some nades on the T side now, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with them. Right now, looks like they're just going to show some presence. However, they're going to get a face full of CTs as BuzzKill make an aggressive push at Ivy here, Jack.
Yeah, this is quite bold. P250 on Alex S, though, as they just flick up and instantly behead the both of them, Jake. Astro's down, Cypher with a follow-up frag, and at this point, they have a huge advantage. It's a 5 versus 3, what, a matter of seconds into the round?
Yeah, Alex just getting caught off there with the timing. Couldn't really adjust in time, but it's all kicking off on the B site, and JSav, playing it smart, waits for Stanley just to run straight past and rips his head off. Is he good for 2? Shouldn't really matter here. Yep, he's dealing some headshots here, Jack, and it's all on Eccles. Hasn't even been able to use his Molotov. Yeah, can't get anything done, and that's always rough when you can't even get the first step into the round there, Ivy. Their whole plan's just completely gone down the toilet there. And yeah, nice aggressive start from BuzzKill. Love to see a positive side pushing on that CT side.
That's one of the things I was talking about as well, because last time we saw them play Train, obviously when it was me and Ben at the first week, it did look quite slow. There wasn't too many sort of really aggressive plays coming out. Obviously those used at correct times can be very effective. This time around though, they play with the confidence, they go for the early push out. The triple nade towards team main early on as well. If they would have gone for the push towards the A site, would have bodied them. Instead though, they're bulking their way up outside of Ivy. JSav just peeking it with the Molotov in hand, so we can quickly deploy that if need be. We have the bomb all the way over towards the B site, trying to get in through the back door. The enemy down, Jake.
Yeah, it should be a reasonably easy clean-up here for JSav. To be fair, he should just be taking the fight and mowing them down. Build a bit of confidence for yourself. He gets 3 with that molly kill, just tickling people, tickling Stanley's feet, burning them off. Nice bit of utility damage as well, get those stats up. Eccles, actually, this second kill's quite big. They haven't invested anything into this round. To get 2 kills is, to be fair, as good as much as they can hope for, really. So Fierce will be chuffed to bits with this, and if Eccles could get any more, and could make the decision just to save this M4, but I don't think he's going to get the chance. I was going to say, might actually catch Hawk there, but eyes of a Hawk does Hawk.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Got that one in early.
make the full use of that one.
Yeah.
Something I did notice, though, with a little bit of an overview, obviously that play towards the B site, it felt like it was basically going to be an Ivy burst to see if they could draw a rotation, get the bomb down for a bit of extra cash going into that second round. Instead, though, we just saw the face straight out onto B site first, then quite a delayed Ivy push.
Might have just been trying to show the bomb and accidentally got caught and died, but yeah, it doesn't make too much sense here, right, Jack?
Just looked like a bit of a weird one. Nitpicky for the sake of being nitpicky. Hype, though, does go for the early information play, pushes his way up the B ramp, tries to get a tidbit of what is going on. Cypher just playing it safe, obviously towards Pop. Ooh, Hype showing a bit of skin. At least he can cast out that smoke, though, Jake.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that. Only 10 damage lost, not too catastrophic, and does draw the rotation of Russ. Be interesting to see if they do just sit like this for the rest of the round, or they try to take some map control going into it. For now, though, everyone just sitting as they are. Alley control looks like it's going to be coming in a bit later. Fierce just taking a nice slow default. They've got all their nades still. Looks like they're setting up for an aid execute here, Jack. Eccles just peeking around Ivy now, showing some presence. But it's nice from the CTs there. They've held on to pretty much all of their nades as well, so this might not be too fun for Fierce coming into it.
Ooh, Cypher. Depends on the positioning here, though. Trying to get the Molotov out. Actually does well to get it off. Unfortunately, he will be traded down. Stanley going to spam his way through him with the AK. Hawk just waiting towards Hell, hoping someone is going to push by. But no one going down towards that Death Valley just yet. They're keeping it safe. Bomb about to go down. Awkward timing on the face from Hawk as he gets overwhelmed by the 2 men that are there. Hype with the MP9. Starts to cause a bit of a stir. Faces out. Eliminates Eccles. Lobs the Molotov to ignite the E-box. JSav getting small slivers of damage off, but this is not looking too likely, although there is a huge turnaround. In a matter of seconds, JSav somehow gets the double kill. Didn't look like he was even meant to. Just carries on to murder them all, Jake.
Yeah, there's really not much to analyze there. I mean, JSav's just sprayed and killed 2 of them.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if he knew what he was doing. Like you said, could have just hit the guy behind him, you know, just stray bullets, just smacking someone's head off. So, I mean, Fierce, that was a really nice round from them. They got out beautifully, 5v3, and in a split second, it's all falling apart. Yeah, they'll be devastated with that.
That's what I think we called in the books a tilter.
It's not fun, but thanks to this new economy, obviously, they're straight back into a buy. Got that bomb down, so as long as they put that out their mind, you know, it's not too catastrophic, we'll forget about it. They should be okay here, going into the round.
Ooh, not too much damage done from the early nades towards teammates.
Speeding up here as well.
Can actually play this one a little bit more effectively this time. Still can't get the early pick. Forcing his hands so heavily there towards the E-box. Hype as well, dink down, Jake. They're just being slaughtered. The 1v1 fight's going very easily in the favor of BuzzKill. Not much room for a trade as well. And at this point, you're left with a 2 versus 5. Russ might be at the back towards Ivy, but doing too much isn't really going to be likely.
Yeah, I think that round previously just showed Fierce how easy it is to get outside versus this BuzzKill CTE side. You know, you see Cypher up there at the E-box. He just has not been able to get anything done 2 rounds in a row. Fumbled his incendiary on that first round, you know, just trying to get that out. Couldn't really get his gun out in time, and this round just getting traded effectively, really. And yeah, so nice call there from Fierce. They didn't have too many nades, so they just decided to go off, you know, let BuzzKill get those early nades out, and then just go contact off that. But a nice round from Fierce, not letting that get that abysmal round previously, you know, stop them.
Yeah, fresh out of their minds. Buff it off. Use some of that Endpoint flex tape.
Exactly.
Slap it on.
Yeah, just stick it all together. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's on fire, but it's fine, you know.
It'll be okay.
Just carry on. Just carry on. And now BuzzKill forced into the force by Jack. Cypher again. He's been sort of shafted so far. I think he's had a MP9 both gun rounds. Now he's stuck onto a CZ with no nades. Chose to get hard head armor, so, you know, could have got a smoker and HE, but we'll ignore it. It's fine. That's a problem. Hype. He's gone down straight away, and Fry, he's just, you know, he's ready. He's hungry. He knows that Hype loves to play this on his own, and he's taken so much map control with this.
Yeah, that was nice. Good spam as well from Fry, watching the cross. Had a little bit of a one-way in the smoke to play with. 2 smokes down on the site as Hawk will walk his way back over. Timing really is everything here. And they're just trying to toy with them. That bomb hasn't committed, hasn't come down the ramp yet, and you can see they're actually scarpering their way back out of the site, Jake, but look at the rotation. Pretty much everyone is off. The only one that's left is Cypher, and as you said, this man's just got a CZ.
They absolutely sold that, Jack. However, they have taken quite a while to get out now, and Hawks re-aggress B. They've got all the map control, so in a blink of the eye, it's all turned around. And BuzzKill, they have the advantage. Hawks got the kill on Stanley, and they're absolutely stuck here, Jack.
Yeah, this is rough. I mean, they left the AUG that was down by close ramp, so Hawk was able to scamper over that, upgrades this Deagle into a much better rifle to play around with into this. You bring it back now into a 4 versus 3. JSAV tagged down very low, but Russ will be able to get the frag across onto Fry. Leaves them with 30 seconds. They're going to have to speed up this tempo now if they want to try and win this round, but the peaks are not going to go in their favor. BuzzKill straight back into it as they win another round. And unlikely one at that as well. Fierce. The double dip, they wanted to back off and try and play towards the A site. They might have sold the fake, but they were just too slow, Jake. Yeah,
it's Hawk really just taking the initiative to push B there, finds a kill, and it just makes things so awkward for Fierce there. And obviously Russ with a 3K, we were talking about him before, and he's already stepped up into the 3rd gun round of the game so far, and he's given BuzzKill a real good chance to get a strong CT side here in the early game.
Hype, once again, it's the aggressive angle, playing up close and personal here with the AUG. Seeing what he can actually find, if anyone is going to push down through that smoke early. A little bit of a spam, so he does get the information. Russ is there providing the overwatch from the back as well. Re-smokes the ramp for Hype. But here comes that play out towards the A side. Alex was already able to push out, barely misses the Deagle shot. Luckily enough, Russ is in position to do some damage. JSAV as well, spots out the Ivy player. And they played this one nicely, Jake. Using that rifle advantage they have, using the range to their favor, should be easy pickings for Cypher here.
Yeah, all these 3 players were just trapped in pop when their teammates were dying. And apart from that Astro kill, not getting much, but Fry, he's done crazier things. Always like to believe in that sort of situation. Yeah. You get that first headshot and everyone's like, well, go on then. Come on, let's see what you can do. But first pause of the game coming in here, Jack, and about time really for Fierce. You know, you had that 1 gun round, went to a 5v3 post plant, should have been their round. bounced back immediately. But yeah, they've been shut down just going outside, walking into Russ's AWP there. So I'm happy that they've taken a pause. You know, a lot of these teams let these games sort of spiral out of control, but you know, Fierce, nice and calm. They've got so much time to play with here. The new economy, you're never really going to be struggling in a situation like this. You know, you can go 8-1 down these days and finish with a 8-7 quite strong finishes, you know. So as long as you take that time, reset, talk about what you're going to do, and go again, then you'll love to see it. What you don't love to see is the bomb.
Yeah.
But Stanley, he's ready.
He's aware.
You know, he's bringing it with.
He's aware. You know, maybe the whale music they were playing to calm them down, that tactical pause, and let them reset themselves mentally was a little bit too calming. Luckily enough, they picked up that aggression again and got the bomb back in their pocket. Stanley taking a small sliver of early damage, 4 HP knocked off him by the nades that are thrown out. Still, though, not too much to write home about. Astro as well. Small tag. If Hype was playing actually on the close ramp there, he might have heard it to at least know there's one player outside of B.
Yeah, again, BuzzKill very happy to play this 2-3 setup over towards B. Doesn't give them too much information, but it's been working out so far. Looks like JSAB's going to get a bit aggressive on Ivy here, and this could catch out Eccles. It's a timing game, really. And Eccles is playing it pretty passive, but there you go. The AUG versus the AK in that sort of situation is just always going to come out on top, and Eccles has been caught with his pants down there, really, Jank.
Yeah, that is rough.
And really, again, it's just BuzzKill being proactive, and it's won them so many rounds so far on this early CT side.
Obviously, when we saw them as revelation as well of quite a different roster, it was the fact they were so proactive on their CT side that did set them apart going into that season. And JSAB is still just doing work into the matchup. Another 2 kills added onto his tally, bringing him up to a total of 3 at this point. It's just Astro and Fry. A bit of a duo at times. They can be quite dastardly. But what can Fry do? Show us some of that ferocious fragging ability that he has. Gets up close towards Bomb Train. Astro's doing all the work for him. Fry has a nade whiz by his head, trying to give him a bit of a haircut. Plays around the Bomb Train. Gets the first kill. The follow-up onto the second as well. As Cypher's been cut down. It's all up to Russ, but Astro says not today. And they bring it back, Jake. A 2 versus 5. Just off the both of them. The picks were there. The synergy was there. And they shut it down, Fierce, bringing back a huge round. Tactical pause coming out for BuzzKill, I imagine just to calm themselves down after that one.
Yeah, I'd be taking a pause too, Jackie. I mean, another advantage situation there, this time for BuzzKill. 5v3 after JSAB's just mowing people down. He's got like 14 frags already in 7 rounds. He's absolutely giving it. And yeah, it's literally left on Fry and Astro. And all you can do is face him and lose. And that's what BuzzKill decided to do. You know, Astro gets 2 quick AWP kills, and suddenly, player on Bomb Train's fumbling with nades. Fry rips his head off.
Yeah.
And it all just falls apart for BuzzKill in a matter of seconds. But yeah, they're not going to be happy with that. It gives Fierce a real leg into this game now. And look at this buy already on the CT side. They really needed that round.
This is going to be quite awkward for them. Obviously, just 1 MP9 there on JSAB. Most of the work he's been bringing out has been the Pound Town with the AUG. They're still going to try and play aggressive towards Ivy. Probably one of the better strategies to utilize. We do have that MP9 in hand.
Astro's really feeling it. He's just got the kill onto Russ, who was peeking up a B, trying to make a bit of an impact play. I believe he had his AWP. Not too sure, but yeah, Astro has 3 massive kills so far from these last 2 rounds. And Fierce, they're just going to sit, let BuzzKill walk into those AKs. And there you go. That's what happens when proactive plays don't really work out for you, and they don't have the equipment really to support it. And they're literally just pushing 1 by 1 all across the map and getting absolutely torn down, Jackie.
Yeah, some of those rounds, really, you need to just try and go for a bit more of a gamble play, something a little bit more shock and awe, right? You don't really have the equipment to play it out like your normal gun rounds, which are very aggressive. That's what we've seen from BuzzKill already over the course of this season. It just couldn't be complemented. Hype, though. Left in a 1 versus 4. In reality, not a high chance of getting this one, but doing damage and being able to save his equipment is probably his best bet. He is surrounded, though. I can smell the blood in the water. Fierce Esports swarming like the fierce killer bees. Ooh, Hype with a fast flick across, takes down Stanley. Is aware there's a player towards upper, but Fry is still too hot to handle. Fierce get themselves a 3rd round in the bag.
Yeah, Fry just guarding that secondary AWP there at the end that he did take from Russ. So yeah, I'm not too fussed with that round from BuzzKill. You know, they didn't have too much to play with. Obviously, Russ was feeling it so far, so decided to go for that aggressive peak. But like I said, Astro's got his number for the minute, and BuzzKill finally forced onto that full eco, and from 5-1, looking like we could get tied up relatively early here, Jack. Fierce really getting into the game now. Really starting to feel themselves. And here we go, a bit of an aggressive team aim push. I mean, Alex has already fallen. But there you go. Eccles, he's ready. You know, he's ready for the shutdown. But 1 kill, it's all right.
Yeah,
Just get it over with. Don't have to play those rounds out all the time. You know, just see if you can catch them off guard. Get 2 kills there, and it's on. But back into the gun round here. No AWP on the CT side. Quite tragic nades, if we're being honest. There's only 2 HEs on a map like Train. No Molotovs. So, I mean, to be fair, Fierce haven't been going out tremendously fast. So, might not catch them out. But this looks like they're just getting ready to burst out A main. And BuzzKill could get caught with their pants down here. They're trying to aggress themselves, and Cypher's already fallen.
Yeah, the fuse was lit. They burst out off the back of the smokes going down. Hawk and JSAP do a good job of getting the early picks, at least to try and battle back against them. The spam through the smoke is too much. Russ, he isn't a 1v3. Timing is absolutely everything here. Bomb's only just gone down. The smoke's going to dissipate on Pop. He gets the first flick across onto Fry. They might peek back into him. It is Astro with the AWP. Oh, on the face. Uses the Molotov at least to try and make this one a bit more awkward for Russ. They're both playing together. They've given him a bit of an opening to try and push across towards the bomb site if he wants to, but the paranoia is there. He doesn't know where they're playing from. Eccles just waiting, trying to get an angle on him if he does cross behind. They're so convinced he's going to fight towards T-Main. Gets the tag. Eccles so low at this point. The elimination off there as well towards Astro, but he doesn't have the time, Jake. He's got to back off. He can't get the round. He's at least done some damage to the economy of Fierce, but this is one that BuzzKill needed to win. The reinvestment was there. The cash still isn't going to be amazing for them, whereas Fierce are absolutely building a bank.
Yeah, it's just plain, I'd say unlucky for BuzzKill. They wanted to re-aggress into team main there. Take it. They know Fierce have been going slow, but with that change of pace, you can see Cypher, as he was walking in, expecting a flash to get flashed in, he's completely blind as all those terrorists run out into his face. And yeah, it was just some really nice shooting from Fierce, walking out team main, everyone following their path and just mowing BuzzKill down. And yeah, it's just the pistol armors now. See if Russ can get some sort of hero play at Ivy here, and he's already been taken down. Ivy, Eccles, he got caught out at one point, I want to say, you know, but since then he's been on the ball at Ivy. They've tried some shenanigans, but you know, he's got it under control here. And Stanley, up close and personal. Hawk is going to take him down into a 4v4 here. For some reason, Fierce, they want to fight this. Alex going down to Cypher, and this could easily get scary very fast, Jack.
Yeah, this round's just getting sweeter and sweeter as the time goes by. Putting them in quite a nice position now. It's a 4 versus 3.
Pushed. Oh no.
JSAP with the timing. He misses the first couple of taps on the CZ, but luckily he can compose himself to make Eccles be dead. Hype as well with the aggression. P250 prowess coming through. Astro's down and out, and it's all up to Fry. Throws out the HE. Tons of damage done. Good use of the Molotov as well. This actually could get the frag onto Hype, which it will. He still has to recover the bomb, but he's just waiting for the initial push, expecting them to be way close than they currently are. The only one that's actually near proximity is Cypher.
This is definitely winnable, Jack. I mean, if you want one man to do it, it's got to be Fry, but okay, as soon as I start talking about it, head ripped off, and as soon as I started praising Eccles over Ivy, JSAB walks and shoots him in the back of the head, and yeah, I mean, I can't really blame Alex for what he did, but because I didn't really see it, but it looks like he sort of jumped into team main as soon as Stanley died, desperately trying to trade things, and he got his head ripped off straight away by Cypher. Astro stuck in team main with an AWP, can't really trade anything, and yeah, it's just all falling apart for Fierce there, and they're going to be gutted that they've thrown that round away, because you know, they were in a 5v4 all against pistols, and they've played rounds like that this game where they've just let BuzzKill walk into them and mopped up, but just been a bit of a back and forth game so far, Jack.
Yeah, the push and pull, obviously knowing when to actually go for those more aggressive plays or use that rifle advantage you've got. This time around, though, a much better buy for BuzzKill. Russ is back on the AWP as well, so they're going to be pretty happy. The utility is a whole lot better than what it has been these past couple of rounds, so it allows BuzzKill to try and go for that more aggressive playstyle if they want to. They can flash each other in, use those early pre-nades, but this is probably the most stacked play we've seen from Fierce towards the B site in quite some time.
Yeah, it is, and I wouldn't be surprised if BuzzKill are taking team main here. Yeah, looks like they're getting flashed in. So it's on Eccles to maybe try and make a bit more presence here. Might see him flash team main just to assert his dominance, and there you go. I am basically Psychic, and he's just trying to sell as much as he can to keep BuzzKill off B, but we've seen this two-man setup a couple of times now. And yeah, Eccles going to throw in his smokes now. I don't think it's going to draw anything. You know, you've got Hawk staring into T main. He really shouldn't be... He should be screaming that it's B at this point. And Fierce is just going to go out.
And they're on towards the site. Russ will get one, but it is only one. He's done. Astro as well, the follow-up frag coming through, back on towards Hype. They've lost their player on the close ramp. The CTs are rotating around. You do have a backstab slowly developing in Hawk. But Eccles, will he be wary of this? He's had a pretty good 6th sense so far into the matchup. He is aware that someone could be creeping up behind him, but he just doesn't know where. The element of surprise gives Hawk the advantage, gets the first, delves down. Another player situated towards upper as well. The crossfire is set up. It's an easy spray down coming through, and it's just left into a 2 versus 2 here. Time ticking its way down. They both have kits, but they haven't realized Alex's position. This could be so big. They're going to drop down. He'll have a clear view onto the first break and then push up towards the bomb site. That's JSav down and out. Forces his way around towards the white train. Cypher will rip his head off, jumps on the bomb. And luckily, he has enough time to actually get that defuse off. It is going to go 7-5, but down to the wire. The 1v1 there in the end.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Alex at the end there, very, very on edge that Cypher was just sticking that. He heard him tap it after he killed the first guy and just didn't see him at all, so he had to sort of sprint there. And then caught not really aiming at the right place. And yeah, to be fair, Fierce will be very annoyed that they've lost that round. Another advantage post-plant that they just can't hang on to. Hawk, again, like I said, coming in from the back, slapping Eccles in the back of the head. He's sort of getting railed. He might need a helmet just for the back of his head. Maybe like a kite shield or something, Jack.
A paver shield, potentially.
Exactly.
Could help him out.
I was going to say it might just be a bit of a mow down from Hype here, but you know, 4v4 post-plant. If the teams can get deep here, which they are, this could get very scary for BuzzKill if they're not careful.
Obviously, those pistols, absolutely lethal. If you can get in the face of your opponent, Stanley probably going to try and give us a little bit of a display of that. The first kill comes in. There is a trade back. Leaves them into the 2 versus 3. Scratch that. Just one man remaining. Alex. Working his way around. Trying to creep down towards the ramp. He knows they haven't got towards the bomb just yet. Goes for the fast face around. That was well timed as he gets the elimination, but unfortunately, he doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. Big man Hawk is always in the rear.
He is always on the flank. It's kind of absurd. I remember back when I was playing UKPL, every time he was alive, I'd just turn around and he's there. So when are these players going to stop, open their scoreboard, say it's Hawk still alive, and then watch behind? Because it's going to start getting a bit ridiculous if you're Fierce here, where Hawk's just going to keep killing you in the back. But yeah, 8-5 going into it. It's definitely been all over the place. Fierce could have really won this half quite strongly, but BuzzKill, all credit to them, they're fighting. They're looking for that 10-5 half.
Very reminiscent of a George Bear, the old Zed himself. Prime back shooter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Takes those backs clean out, Jake.
He does. Although I always find shooting people in the back of the head probably the hardest shot on Counter-Strike. Especially if you have a pistol.
It's because that awkward neck.
Yeah. You know, you can't really see where it stops, and then it's bobbling all over the place. And oh, look at that. Who made that camera? I think I might have.
Wow.
Trademark.
There you go. That one is copyright.
Don't think I gave Ben permission to use that.
No.
So
That's a paddling.
might be a bit of a sue later, but again, Fierce slowing it down. A lot of these slow rounds did work for them, but that's mainly BuzzKill walking into them and don't seem to want to aggress anywhere early on into this round. Bit of Ivy control coming in from Eccles once again. Astro just waits for that lead connector smoke. Here we go. Seems like the A play once again for Fierce. Let's see if BuzzKill can say anything about it.
Ooh. Cypher with a wild spam. I mean, it's a fairly good position to play from, but unfortunately just couldn't hit anyone. JSav, though, showing exactly what he should be doing into this position. Gets the spam off on towards Alex. Eccles looking to try and trade it. Just going to go for the fast face. The pre-fire was there. Unfortunately, the kill just isn't. You leave them with only 2 players left. It's even Stevens, though. 2 apiece. This is a very important round they need to try and pick up. And Hawk, once again, trying to go for the aggressive play, spots them out. It's a big tag onto Astro, brings him down to 27 HP. Unfortunately, Bogdan's Law's still going to be in play. He is Molotoved off at least. Fry is really the big set piece now. No one's tapping the bomb, though, and all they're losing It's their faces quite literally being peeled back. He's just sat on the bomb, no one's peeking it. Fry eventually goes for the extension around, spots out, Hype takes him down, and it is going to go 8-6.
That was such a nice flip from Fry there. That was the round, really. You know, Hawk's got him left for dead, and he's just flicked up and slapped his head clean off. I was quite scared there for Fierce that Hype was just going to defuse the bomb, but...
It was close.
Yeah, it was close. But Fry, lovely 3K into the round and strutting his stuff. Gets Fierce up to 6 here, and another atrocious buy for BuzzKill, but they've won these rounds before. Looks like they want to go team aim once again. As Hawk sort of looks in, they're having a bit of a fight. Alex wins it this time, and he's sticking around for 2. And there you go, Fierce once again letting BuzzKill walk straight into their crosshairs, and everything's coming up their way as the remaining CTs. Hype is walking straight into Fry's crosshair. Almost takes him down, but, you know, it's the frustration spram, you know. You love to see it.
Bit of anger. Ooh.
I wouldn't even say it's anger. I don't know if Fry experiences anger.
No, he's always just quite focused.
Yeah, focused, just laser focused.
He is. He's definitely ahead of the curve when it comes to just being able to hone himself in. Russ still showing that he has some pretty nice flicking capabilities. Unfortunately, it won't win them around, but does still give them the advantage overall. It's an 8-7 half in terms of our Twitter poll that we have coming through, though. It's looking like a ton of people are favouring BuzzKill at the minute. 74% to the 26 of Fierce.
Well, I mean, generally, Jack, Train's a bit of a CT-sided map, so I mean, cautious to say BuzzKill fanboys, but, you know, I don't know what game they were watching, really, Jack, because Fierce, they had a few opportunities to really stomp BuzzKill out of that half. It could have been a 9-6 in their favour. BuzzKill won some rounds that they probably would admit to themselves that they shouldn't. But, I mean, that's the game, you know? Best of ones. Those sort of rounds can really be the difference maker, and maybe a bit of a faster pistol coming out from BuzzKill, all sided towards the B bomb site early into the round.
It does seem like Fierce have angered the Hive. They've kicked the nest a little bit, and they're going to be swarming their way in towards that B bomb site.
Yeah, Alex just playing retake here. He really needs to make sure he doesn't die. 1 kill and dropping off would be perfect, but just surviving gives his team a real chance in the round. And there you go, 1 kill should be falling off. Ooh. Waited way too long. He's lost the kit. He's lost the smoke. Hopefully his team can retrieve that. Astro's got the smoke, hasn't found the kit, and that could be very detrimental to that CT defense.
Kit's lodged on top of Red Train. Going to be very hard for them to actually recover that if they even realize it's there. Hype bursts his way in towards Connector. Makes this one a little bit more lethal as he starts to punish them. The flashbang comes through, blinds 2 of the players. Astro and Fry just stuck. Fry still getting battered, completely tagged down. They're so low. They have recovered the kit. Astro glided up there, grabs it. Russ just boldly pushes his way down, spangs into action. So close to picking that one up, but it is going to be around for Fierce.
I'm guessing Russ just wanted to get in that smoke with his knife out and just start slashing. But yeah, that was a ballsy play. Yeah, just swinging out upper. And like you said, Astro managed to find that kit. Might have been hidden under the train, you know, just picking that up, dusting it off. Top. Ah, there you go. And yeah, a nice retake from Fierce there in the end. Got a bit hairy at times, you know, Hype pushing that smoke really could have been the difference maker there, but nice calm recovering from Fierce, and does set them up perfectly to sort of just carry home this game. If they can get into the CT side, and Eccles already, lovely start.
Ooh. J-Sav as well, jumping down, sticks himself to the ladder, gets murdered for his sins there, and it is just left on Hype and Russ. Well, Russ is completely done for. Eccles, very nice little tap off with the Org from quite a distance, the old unzooming.
Yeah, it's nice to see Eccles playing Ivy, you know, a smart player. You know, a lot of experience on him thanks to that Fnatic Academy run. And yeah, nice to see him playing Ivy. He was hanging around there on the T side, so, you know, obviously knows a lot about it, knows the angles, you know, knows what's happening there.
Angles, knows his way around it.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down battle over that map. Side of the map, no one's really come out on top so far. Because he's going to want to lock down that location, and BuzzKill getting into their first gun round. Heavy towards B, actually, so you've only really got J-Sav holding Ivy, making sure nothing jazzy's coming out the CTs. It looks like they're going to go straight into this B exec. Alex getting out that molly. He's got an XM here, Jack, so this could get quite interesting. A-Fake coming out as well. But the CTs, they have team main, so I can't believe we haven't seen a CT rotation yet.
Yeah, this is really awkward as well.
Finally coming around from Astro, I think, but it's very slow, and then they're really not too fussed about this potential B play here. Alex only with a shotgun. Astro finally going to arrive in time. If he gets in position, this could be grim for BuzzKill.
He's honestly not going to be able to do much with that auto shotgun in hand. Astro comes over to attempt to complement him at least somewhat. The likelihood of this actually paying off is going to be risky. Here's the burst. He has the opportunity to punish him. They did come out towards ramp. Instead, it's his teammate doing the damage for him. Gets that frag off, but leaves them just into a 3 versus 4. JSav, essentially almost dead at this point. He has to play very safe into this round. They're spreading themselves thin, but they're getting the kills. Cypher takes down Stanley. There is a trade back in their favor, but it is only a 2 versus 3. They've already fallen back into better positions. They have a smoke and a flashbang to play with. They push up towards the site, though. Hawk is done for. JSav still only on 2 HP. Russ misses the important shot. The nade gonna tank the hell out of him. Blind as well, as he's dazed and confused. They've smoked the bomb. They've jumped on it. He's missed the opening shot. At this point, you might just want to save the orb.
Yeah, deaf, dumb, and blind up there, Jack. And I'm not sure who his teammate was, but as soon as Russ faced, I mean, obviously he can't comment that they're not on the bomb at that time, but his mate peeked straight away, gets taken down by Fry, and yeah, Russ is caught in an awful position there. And another really nice retake from Fierce as BuzzKill got in there with the 4v3 advantage, and they just couldn't lock it down. Fierce just overpowering them, really, even with the number disadvantage. But yeah, there's been so many afterplants so far, Jack, that either team will just be reeling from losing. Just rounds that they should not be thrown away. But, you know, if one team does it and the other team counters back, I suppose, you know, all's fair. All's fair.
It's true.
Going into this round, not many nades on that BuzzKill side, so it'll be interesting to see what they want to do. Looks like it's going to be an A split once they take Pop here. 2 men looking at that little hatch, you know. Bit scared of a CT popping his head up. They can do crazy things, you know, on that ladder with no accuracy.
Hey, sometimes it just seems to happen. You know, you get that little blessing. You pop your war drum, someone uses heroism, you burst away at the ladder.
Yes.
Instant crit.
Exactly. Perks and such. Well, Fierce haven't taken too much map control themselves. Stanley just having a look into Pop. Playing close enough to hear people dropping down if they do. Finally, BuzzKill chucking out some nades, starting to take T main. Looks like they're going to drop into Pop in a second. Astro, beautiful position. Ooh, that's all good.
Yeah, they're all just going to run straight into him. Astro caught on the ladder as he tries to drive across, only 7 HP, can't really do too much. Luckily enough, they do have a Fry, who is going to punish everyone in front of him, carries on with the damage. Straight just peek out. The confidence on this man is ridiculous, as he will get that further frag.
He just absolutely annihilates people, doesn't he? He
Yeah.
he walks around, headshotting whoever he wants. Doesn't care. No respect.
It's very similar to what we used to see, obviously, like when Robin would play in the Prem and it would be Cobblestone. And, you know, historically, if they went towards B site, Robin would walk out and bare minimum find 3 picks pretty consistently. We saw that basically being what Fry could do almost every time he's played in the Prem. He has these huge show-stopping performances. The difference is now in a team like Fierce, rather. He has a lot of people around him that can complement him as well. So we didn't even need to see this constant, ridiculous level of Fry. We can kind of have him plateau a little bit and have sort of average games, and someone else tends to step up and be able to fill those boots around him, which is why this roster did look really scary at the start of things.
Yeah, and I know he's very comfortable in this lineup. I mean, all 5 players here, they're all decent mates, you know. Everyone gets on.
Yeah.
So he's very comfortable just to frag, and it looks like it's going to be a very fast B here, so see if Alex can handle it. And already goes down, gets a little martyrdom molly kill, and Astro's here to mop up. Nice 2 frags from him. Bomb down won't be too bad for BuzzKill, they should be happy with that. Gives them a nice buy going into the 20th round? Yep.
Yeah.
I can do maths.
A little bit of math, quick math coming through. Hawk pushes up with the P250. Ooh, no. Could have been, but it wasn't meant to be. Fierce getting themselves that 12th round now. Definitely setting a precedent towards their CT side, but now there is going to be money in the hands of BuzzKill. They could don the AWP if they wanted. They're going to have those rifles in play. Cypher debating his buy a little bit there, but we are just going to see the 4 AK set up, full utility across the board, and Russ rocking the AWP. So a little bit of a fight, the potential for him to actually take on Astro now. We need to see that confidence from him. Last time around on the T side, we did see him in week 1. I don't feel like it was there. This time, can we see him really start to whip some things out?
Yeah, he did have that team main spawn, but he hasn't decided to use it. Instead, he's going to go Ivy, and there's a bit of an early battle, and he's caught on his own thanks to that molly and Eccles. They're going to re-aggress off that as well. Ooh. Quite nice idea, but Hype's way too switched on for it. Evens things up into a 4v4 very early into the round here. But like you said, they've lost Russ, which is never an ideal situation. Cypher's donned the AWP here. Not having a fantastic game, but could get some impact here. Another bit of aggression coming in towards Ivy. See if Hype's ready for this. Does look like he's staring yet right in the server box. Lovely spam.
That's big.
Stanley, no idea what's just hit him. Bullets flying straight through a smoke. 3v3.
Kill him every time if you could see him, Jake.
He would, I reckon.
Cypher brought down to 58 HP as he does get tagged there. 55 seconds left on the clock. You are in a 3 versus 3. Map control surprisingly actually being taken quite heavily here by BuzzKill. They need to clear towards Hell. It depends on who's actually got the better awareness of the situation. Fry, unfortunately, draws the short straw into that one. And it's just left onto Alex and Astro, the AA. Can they hit them with a AAA level play? Hype takes down the first follow-up as well. Just takes the firefight. It's a 4K for him. He traded so effectively on all of his teammates into that round. That's a huge play from the man.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him get those 2 opening frags. Just absolutely fantastic round from the veteran there. Hype is back, Jack. Hype is killing. He's trying to drag BuzzKill back into this game. It's sort of dropped off, but you know, if they can string 2 rounds together, Fierce's economy isn't looking too sharp, and this round could be really pivotal going into the later stages here.
Important factor is as well, they were actually able to scavenge that weapon back over for Russ. So he does have the AWP to play with once again.
Seems a bit more of a supportive role this round. Looks like they're ready just to flash out team main. We saw Fierce doing this. Stan has pretty much all the info here, so yeah, there you go. Nice 2K from Stan from Pop. Does get dealt with the nade, but strong position from Astro, mowing them down. Oh, second shot to Russ there. Has no right to take that fight, but he doesn't care.
No, this man's been playing his free-for-all rifle service, Jake. He's warmed up. He's absolutely giving it, and it's all on Hawk in a 1 versus 4. He has a minute on the clock to play with and a Molotov in his back pocket to try and burn someone. But the likelihood is this is going to be a 13th round secured now for Fierce, and it will put them in such a huge position. Hawk debating how he actually even wants to play this one. Starts to walk his way up. As he inches closer towards the bomb train, Fry will spot him, gets the kill off, trades out for the AK. Favors the AUG instead at the end there, switches back.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what happens when you come out team main and the CTs have someone in pop. You know, once you haven't taken that control, Stanley's in such a strong position with that AUG just to mow them down. They traded him reasonably nicely, but like I said, Astro just strong positioning with his AWP. And yeah, it was an interesting call from BuzzKill just to go faster into that round after having a much slower round previously and finding success from that. However, the Ivy default is coming back into effect. See if Russ can survive a bit longer in the round here. Hasn't really got his teeth into this T side as of yet. And already, I mean, BuzzKill, they're very on edge about this Ivy situation. That should be giving Eccles quite a bit of info. Should have heard 2 players shooting 2 different guns there. We'll see if the CTs want to aggress on top of that. Finally, Stan getting mollied out of Pop. Takes a bit of damage, you know, just takes it on the chin, getting a bit toasty. It's all right. But another slow round for BuzzKill. They not too many nades. Looks like J7 and Cypher are hanging on to those, so can still do something jazzy into the round as we go. And looking like it's got to be an A split. They got all 3 points covered here. Hype and Russ just creeping up Ivy. You've got trying a nice little off angle here. And already Stanley just dominating Pop. Hawk's one job was to take that area of the map, and that just completely kills the 3rd point of the attack, and it's all on Russ to really open this up from Ivy.
Let's see if the Ivy play is actually going to give them any more of an advantage. The flashbang out as they both exit together. The duo into a position to actually cause some chaos. However, Fry spots them out, spams down with the orb. This does give them the leeway to push out through team main, though. But all of the frags are going in favor of Fierce. Everyone's been picked to pieces, and it's just down to Russ in the 1 versus 4. He's got 13 seconds and a dream. Finds a kill onto Astro, but that is it. He is down and out, scratched out of existence there by Eccles to round out another one. And that is going to bring them up to a grand tally of 14 rounds. 1 away from securing themselves at the very least that overtime, 2 away from closing down the game and walking out of here with a pretty one-sided scoreline on Train.
Yeah, I mean, that round, again, you've got to give a lot of credit to Stanley, just locking down that pop area of the map. 2 big kills once again. I mean, he hasn't been fragging too much this game, but you want to talk about impact rounds. Well, there's one for you, because 2 rounds in a row, he's got 2 kills from pop. And that round especially, Hawk is the 3rd point of that attack. You know, you've got to keep the CTs, you know, scared of pop, scared of team main, scared of Ivy for that attack. And once Stanley gets that first kill, it all falls apart for BuzzKill. And taking a pause here again, just discussing what's gone wrong. Not really an ideal buy for them. Hype stuck on an AK, no head armor, so is Russ. They got 4 nades between 5 of them. 3 of them stuck on Hawk, and looks like they're just going to go towards this B-bomb site. Not much else you can do, and CTs themselves, they're going to get aggressive with Astro.
Ooh, okay. Well, that doesn't work out well. Astro goes for the fast face, trying to see if he can get the initial pick off with the AWP and then fall back. Instead, he gives them the early entry in towards the site. They're all grouped up. It's the full 5-player burst that's going to be coming down. Fry's rotated over. He gets the smoke off just in the nick of time, but they're going to have to push their way through it, and they do. They opt to actually go for the split push around through the white train. Fry still fragging like a madman, Jake. Outrageous stuff coming through as he mows them all down. Eventually does get punished, and it is Hawk that saves the day. The overwatch that's provided with the AWP is big, and he bunny hops his way to success into the round.
Yeah, I mean, that's a massive round for BuzzKill, and as we can see, Fierce's economy in tatters after that. BuzzKill, yeah, they've got another real opening into this game here. Got to say, they've probably got one more chance, you know, if they can just one round after another. Don't slip up here. They can't be losing this round versus Pistols. This could get quite scary for Fierce if they continue to force and more Ivy aggression. It's been the story this entire game. Russ is going to win that early 5 versus Eccles. Traded out by Astro, but surely he gets taken down here. Oh, if he had another second there, it could have been a collab. But Fry, obviously, swinging in and trading. 3v3 now. And the other 2 CTs, they've got all a B. So Fry just trying to take map control himself, but caught out by Cypher. And technically, you know, JSav's walked out here. Stan has absolutely no idea where some of these Ts could be. And it's going to be all on timing about him and JSav here.
He might spot him. Does see the gun barrel. Oh, it's the tap with the CZ, though. No angle to actually get a clean face on towards his head. Just a body shot. It's not going to do that much damage. Alex as well walks into the man holding the rear in Hawk once again. That is going to be that pick coming through. They dropped that AWP across actually towards Hawk. It looks like they are going to give it to him. He might actually take the same main face and try and go for the pick.
Surely it's just got to be for that spawn.
Yeah.
Potentially just watching if anyone goes close pop, so his teammates can take that nice and easy, nice and early. And yeah, Fierce just have to take this full eco on the chin. Stacking outside, it's the classic old bomb stack. Never seen it be too successful for these UK teams, but you know, it could come into play. JSav, he spotted it, and he's absolutely mowing them down.
Yeah, they were ready for the tank. Ooh, although the tank's fought back. It's got a bit of a bite to it.
Out of nowhere, 3 kills exchanged for both teams. Hype speeding up. He's charged into the B bomb site on 16 HP, all on his lonesome. Fry could... Stanley even could get the timing here.
Oh, no.
Oh, this could get very awkward.
Oh, he didn't see his feet. Stanley can walk up behind. Well. He gets the shot off. He's now unable to pick up a weapon.
Yep, he's heard the scope on Hawk, and Stanley, another huge impact round. That's so unlucky for Hype. He's just checked White Train one more time before Hawk threw that flash, and just the second he turns away, Stanley comes creeping around the corner. USP to the back of the head, spins around for Hawk, hears him scope on the ramp, faces straight into him, and huge play from Stanley, and that's the round BuzzKill could not lose. They had an opening into the game, but honestly, that should be it, Jack. Could be 16-11 right here, right now.
That's a big yikes. That's not ideal at all. A ridiculous round to lose.
Just
It puts
5
them into
USPs.
such a good position.
5
I know,
USPs,
literally the 5 USP tank that somehow they find 3 picks out of nowhere, then Stanley just goes on to completely win the round off the individual play from the man. Lunacy. Pure lunacy. Now we fall back into this position. 15-11. This is the one to close it down, shut down the game. They jump spot their way across. Eccles not actually going for the peak whatsoever. Instead, just going to smoke towards Ivy. There's 3 players there that are trying to work their way together. They have smoked in. Eccles had spotted that. They know they're playing a little bit lax towards Ivy at this point. Noise being made sporadically around the map to at least try and keep Fierce on their toes. BuzzKill just trying to plant those seeds of doubt, Jake.
Yeah, a bit more aggression towards Ivy. It's been the theme of the game. But this time Fierce getting a bit more aggressive towards team main, just keeping BuzzKill on their toes. Decided to stack 2 people inside that B site. Stanley again in pop. He's been absolutely superb in this position so far, and Hawk's not even going to bother trying to get him out of that little rat room. As BuzzKill walk back lines here, could be a B split. I mean, Fry, he's already trying to absolutely destroy those plans. As the other T's group up in team main, and it's another A split here, Jack. 3 players on the outside for Fierce. They're in nice positions.
22 seconds left on the clock. If they're going to go for this, they need to do something soon. They ignite the fuse and start burning down the time as they push their way out towards the site. Eccles is in a prime time position to do absolute damage. They all face towards him. 8 seconds left. Cypher, it's all on him. There's no chance he can get the bomb down. That is going to be it. Wrapped up as the frag comes through. Fierce close it down. It's a 16-11 scoreline as they overpower BuzzKill and carry on to have an undefeated streak so far this season, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, just really nice play from Fierce. A few rounds that they might watch back and think, my word, how did we lose that? It could have easily been a 16-8, 16-5 sort of scoreline. BuzzKill, they had their chances that they made for themselves. You know, some really nice plays, some proactive plays on their CT side, and they just kept throwing away those rounds that came after winning such a big round that they just couldn't convert. And ultimately, that's what lost them the game. I mean, if you want to look at standout players, you wouldn't see it from the scoreline, but again, Stan on that CT side, so many impact rounds at the end there. And yeah, just strong side from Fierce, and they're just doing so well in this Prem so far.
Yeah, they're having a big season. They've actually been continuing that undefeated streak. Obviously, another victory picked up here. It's still a shame they actually didn't get the full 3 points from their other win before, because they would just be ridiculously so far ahead. But still, majority of their games this season already won for Fierce. It was top-notch stuff. A lot of wacky rounds into our opening game of the show, but there is still 2 more best of ones to come. Stay tuned. For the meantime, enjoy these replays, grab yourself some snacks, and slide yourself back in for our second game after the break.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Welcome back to the ESL Premiership, sponsored by Curry's PC World Gaming and Intel. We have just wrapped up our first game of the day, but we have 2 more glorious ones to come. I'm joined by the wonderful Jakey Elton. Obviously, you've just released your new movie, a biopic on your life. Are you excited?
Yes. I mean, I absolutely understand where you're going with this joke. You know, I've got a lot of sentences that I can add to this conversation, and yeah, I'm excited.
Nice. Big fan of Elton John. Obviously, you know, you would be if it's the heritage that you left behind.
Same name, of course. You know, you just swap it around.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that joke many times.
No, that's why I thought I'd get it in.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Get it in whilst it's early. Yeah. Cool. Hate this guy. Get him off. Get Ben back.
Can we get the next game started?
You want the next game, do you?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about that then. Let's talk about the game 2 that is coming up tonight. This one going to be a little bit of a different thing.
Yeah, I mean, Endpoint, they've picked up a new team.
They have. You know, the thing is, Jake, they change rosters so often.
fast.
It's a whole new squad.
Yeah, it's a dynamic roster.
They saw BuzzKill and they went, you know what, we might as well.
I want me some of that.
We might as well. But here is the actual roster, of course. Mighty Max Lazar, Ardis, ZNX, and Laney, the new age Endpoint. It's kind of like when they replaced all the Avengers with the new Avengers, and you know, you still had a couple of them, but pretty much everyone was new and you weren't really sure if you liked them anymore.
Yeah, and all the fans sort of went, 10 years, it's been enough for me. These new guys look a bit naff. I might just go bed.
Yeah.
See what DC are making, maybe.
Oh, definitely not.
Oh, definitely not.
Definitely not. Why don't you run me through this, Jake? Give me your thoughts.
It's an interesting iteration. You know, you've got Mighty Max, like I said, probably has to be the most experienced player we've got left in the scene. You know, he's been with this Endpoint roster for so long. They've stuck by him. He's stuck by them. He's joined here by Joe Lazarus. Been his teammate a number of times throughout Endpoint. You know, he's been dipping in, dipping out. He's one of the most skilled players we have in the scene. Is Joe Lazarus. He's had some issues, you know, over the last year or so where he's sort of dipped in form. Other AWPers came out the woodwork, sort of, you know, maybe dethroned him from that best AWPer in the UK sort of scenario that he got himself into.
That was Mike Powell. Let me stop you right there.
That was Mike Powell, sure, I'll give you that. No one can ever dispute that, obviously.
No. Actually, well, no, tell a lie. Just got word in. Fearless top 5 AWPer in the world.
Yeah, in the world.
Top 5.
In the world. You have to agree with that.
That was Rattlesnake was on the line.
Oh, right.
So
I'm sure.
He fired that one through to me.
Yeah, but then moving on, you've got Ardis, Laney, and ZNX. And Ardis, he's been around the scene. He's an absolute beast of a player at times. Yeah. You know, he can do so much. But again, this Endpoint lineup, if they can just gel as a 5, if you can get on, no arguments, you know, you listen to what you're being told, and if they just come together and sort of focus on this project, then they can really make something here. But if they're going to let themselves fall into that same structure that they always go down where, you know, they're playing for a few months and you're trying to stick everything together and people are just arguing and talking behind each other's backs and all sorts of mad situations that just bring the team down, then obviously they're going to flounder. But, you know, I've heard that there should be some sort of boot camps coming up using the team house. Hopefully they start using that team house properly and not just a little party HQ that it seems to be turning into. Not sure what that's about, but we'll move on. But yeah, we'll bring it back into this game. They're facing up against ReflexEU.
They are indeed. We do have the veto for this one as well. So we can see where it's actually going to be going down. Overpass.
Interesting. Now, this is interesting because Reflex, they played it twice already, and they've lost both their games. And yeah, as far as I know, Endpoint, they've been comfortable on Overpass for many years. In all their iterations, they always love to play it. I'm pretty sure this new lineup would have already put work on it as it's one of their earlier maps to work on. So, yeah, Reflex maybe, I mean, they probably just don't care what their opponent's map are. You know, they're like, I'm confident on Overpass. You know, they smashed us on LAN, to be fair, and if you can beat, you know, 3 casters, then more power to you.
Well, you know, the thing is, Jake, the issue with that is obviously that was just T-side.
That was just
CT side.
Yeah, we were fine.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of proven even through the games we've seen in the Prem with them as well. That does still appear to be like where they're struggling. Their opening T-sides have actually been very hit or miss. I guess they never hit. You know, they've been struggling to actually be able to land those opening shots to get themselves in a position to pick up those ones. Incrementally, though, it was 7 rounds the first time. It was 8 rounds the second time. Maybe they can get 9 rounds today versus Endpoint.
I guess. I mean, if that's what you're hoping for, not too sure why you're showing up in the server. I mean, you can't be going in going, oof, let's get that 9 rounds, boys, you know. Everyone patting each other on the shoulders, you know, getting amped up.
Yep.
surely you go into this game, your Reflex, you got to the playoffs of last season, you know.
And they look good.
They looked fine, yeah. I mean, they're 5 players that have played together for quite a while, you know, they all know each other. And you look at Endpoint and you look at their runs in Prems and you're like, you know, we could squeeze some points out of this game if Endpoint aren't feeling it and they're not on their game at that moment. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it actually will be quite curious to see if this means Endpoint are already going to have a second loss in this group stage. Normally, it tended to be the one sort of upset that was the big one of the season, right? And Endpoint would sort of fall over there, they'd scrape their knees a little bit and then brush themselves off going into finals. However, last season, there was none of that.
A few more upsets, let's say.
I mean, they didn't get up. They were just laid on the floor. They were just getting kicked. And then someone just, you know, started throwing rocks at them.
Well, I think what it is, you know, they'd get kicked and they'd have a few drinks and forget about it. You know,
they'd probably live stream it.
They probably did.
Twitch.tv/Shiki, but we're ready as we're kicking things off. Reflex versus Endpoint. It is overpassed. Endpoint on the T side, Reflex starting off on the CT side. Will they be able to hold this time around?
Right, I'm calling it now. Max is going to go back. He's going to smoke heaven, you know, and they're just going to burst beat. Bit of a stack coming out from Reflex, so they're ready. Mog's just had his head ripped off through the wood, though. So he's still hanging on to life. I'll go for a cheeky boost on this T side. Could get impact if he's not careful, but then next he's gone for the instant shot, and Reflex has looked up and ripped his head clean off, and Max coming back. He's the only one with utility. Looks like he's setting up. Okay, I take it back. Not going to be smoking heaven. I was lying. That's an awkward fight.
Right, yeah.
I guess 2 people can just spray 20 bullets at each other from across the map, and that's all fine. Smoke center of sight, and the attack comes in.
Well, here we go. Impact. Yeah, pretty good reflexes on the first kill, but is he able to be so ambidextrous now getting into this one as he dives left and right across the bomb site, hoping to try and get some warning shots off. They're onto a 4 versus 4, however Mog is very low. Emmy actually gets involved first, decapitates Laney. Luzza looks to try and respond back, spamming down, will go 1 for 1, and it's just up to him and Artis now. The Scout superstar waiting for the push to get close. They're just brutally making their way for everyone. It's actually Artis with a 3K to kick off this pistol round, and that is Endpoint shutting it down, taking the first.
Yeah, it looked to be a bit of a tricky afterplant for Endpoint there. They couldn't really get any pit control, so they just decided, you know, we'll take that short, we'll take a bit of monster control, and yeah, it really came down to that little crossfire with the 2 of them, Ardis and I believe Luzza at the end there, just, like you said, mowing them down with the power of those 2 Glocks. And strong start for Endpoint here as Reflex just take the eco on the chin, few grenades, Deagle or 2 in there. Nothing too crazy. Looks like they're going to be wanting to buy next round, and Endpoint just wolf packing towards this A-bomb site at the moment. Taking things nice and slow around that fountain. Just going to clear out toilets as a team. As long as they've got their guns out, there shouldn't be an issue here.
No, they should be okay. Molotov going to go down, though, to try and isolate Mog here. He has to jump across, actually reveals himself. Then Luzza will get the pick with the AK. Emmy from behind the park bench laid down. Just going to be left sitting on the park bench now.
Yeah, very calm and collected so far. There's a bit of a stack coming in onto the A-bomb site now. Reflex just decided to have a little gamble stack. Nice idea, but teaser coming in now, and lovely entries from Luzza. Single man dropping 4K for Luzza there.
Very clean.
Loves the eco frags.
He does indeed. Not looking too windy today for Luzza.
It's all fine, you know. He's sun's out, guns out. His biceps are flexing all over Reflex at the moment.
It's probably blinding Reflex, in fact.
Is.
Just glistening by the sheer size of them.
And now we see 5 people on that CT side, all without a bit of armor on their head. Now on the flip side, we've got Mighty Max and ZNX with Mac 10, so I'm excited for that, Jack. You know, that makes me happy. I like seeing James Bond one-handed Mac 10s just fly around the corner and rip people's heads off who are just clutching their M4. And Laney going for some short aggression. In fact, gonna bail out JCMX there, and nice start for Reflex. They do give up the short area, and Max has that control now.
That's unfortunate there for Max. Froze the nade across, was obviously trying to finally finish off JCMX. He's actually only left on 2 HP now as well, as he's so incredibly low from the damage he's been taking from both of those men that have fought him.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what that was there from... it looked like Emmy and Mog both wanted to re-aggress there onto A short for no real reason. You're in a 5v4. just maybe start thinking about playing your bomb sites. Now it's a tricky situation. They have stacked 3 players towards the speed bomb site, so they're ready as they could be, but Max with the molly kill. Max, 2 entries there. Really opening things up, and it's all on Emmy here. It was just the fact that JCMX got so tacked up from Laney at the start of that round that probably got blinded in with that molly, and the first tick just brought him down. And nice round from Endpoint. Like I said, Reflex maybe just giving it away themselves, trying to re-aggress after already finding the first entry.
Yeah, it's been very clean so far from Endpoint. Artist with a final killing blow. Pretty effective snapshot coming through as he will punish that man. And they do get the first 3 rounds.
You've already got 3 players on Endpoint who haven't died yet. And they're all the ones that are fragging. So, you know, they're all running around just taking fights. They're loving it. And if Reflex don't get into this game, this could get very scary. We've already talked about their struggles on T side of this map. So they're really going to want to get back into this. And these are the kind of sketchy rounds that I've seen Endpoint lose in the past. You know, you've got more structure in with Immy and Mighty Max calling things now. And you'd hate to see them get ecoed, and I'd like to say that they won't be. But, you know, you never know. Again, they're just wolf packing towards this A site. Done the exact same thing before. Different nades this time. Just going to smoke off top connector, and that does negate 3 players in there. It's a nice play from Mighty Max. Being the support player everyone knew he could be.
Best support in the UK.
Now the best IGL in the UK, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a change around, swings and roundabouts, and it looks like a backstab could be the key into this one. As they are waiting. 3 players towards connectors, and next spots them out. Holds. Waiting for a push towards the rear. Refaces over on connector. A little bit of traded damage. Impact fairly low. Knocked to below sub 50 HP. 2 players grouped up towards the site. They get on past the truck. The push is going to be coming through. The smoke isn't really isolating JCMX. He's allowed to get 1 before he's taken down, put in an early grave. ZNX is punished back by Emmy, and he can scavenge that AK. But ideally, he might just want to back off and save it. That does seem to be the call.
Yeah, this is just really nice and clean from Endpoint so far. You know, they seem very well oiled on this map. Already just, you can see when they enter bomb sites, they're all very nice and close, you know, where they need to be, and they're trading very effectively so far. So, all good signs going into this early game. Looks like it could be a nice start to the half for Endpoint. Reflex, they're really going to want to get back into this on the 5th round. Might be worth a pause, but probably know what they want to do after those 2 ecos. Should be coming in with a bit more of an idea of what you want to do on the CT side. We'll probably see him, I was going to say an AWP on Mog, but their money doesn't really allow for it unless Emmy wants to drop it over.
He doesn't have armor at the minute. And it is going to be the debate of what they actually want to go.
He's thinking about it.
There we go.
Okay, Emmy's bought it instead. He's got the spawn. Looks like he's going to go for a bit more of an aggressive peek, and yeah, fair play. You need to sort of stamp your authority on the game. Endpoint sort of running the show as things stand. Yeah, it's going to be a double A long setup as well, so it looks like they're going to re-aggress off him as well. Yeah, JCMX already flashed. Emmy even already flashed off, and contact at long as JCMX comes around the corner and absolutely ends Lazar.
Ooh. ZNX prepared for the push from Emmy.
I don't know what that is.
The smoke. Yeah.
That's madness. That's the second time Reflex have got an entry and gone, I guess we'll just push here and die. So,
the awkward spam,
that
but
is awkward.
Luckily enough, they do get the connection off. They can take down JCMX. Smog will look to re-aggress on Mighty Max. That's actually bombed down, but he's not too bothered about the fact that ZNX is still just sat there. Easy flick across, trades it back. Just Impact and Numb that remain into this one now for the CT side. The nade's going to chunk a hefty amount of damage off onto Impact. And leaves them very worse for wear going into this. They don't really have much utility. They've only got 1 kit. If they want to go for this round, they're going to need to do something lickety-split. ZNX and Ardis are both fairly low. Ardis playing up close and personal. Further attacks coming through onto Impact. 46 and 12 HP on both of the Reflex players now. They're creeping their way out towards the bomb site. ZNX is playing it very carefully. Just face down, knows he can peek up. They don't know where he is. He gets the spam into the smoke. That's going to be the ace picked up for ZNX. Another week, another ace.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I suppose that's another top player of the week, potentially, for ZNX there. Huge round. And yeah, I mean, what can you say? He's absolutely demolished Reflex, who, like I said, throwing away a 5v4 for no real reason there. I really struggle to think what Emmy's game plan is there. You've killed Lazar in Playground, so unless his long players are calling that, oh, Fountain looks clear, everything's fine, get some more info. I don't know why Emmy's jumping through a smoke with an AWP. Like, that just doesn't really make sense. And
yeah, it was a weird isolated play.
Can't really analyze it, but yeah, ZNX, a player who, you know, he came up through CEX. He looked so impressive on that lineup. And finally, he might be finding his feet in this Endpoint lineup. So if they can get him comfortable, if they can get him firing on all cylinders, he's another player that can absolutely dominate. However, just another wolf pack coming in from Endpoint here, slowly taking long and long toilets. What a shot from Joe Lazarus. Beautiful.
Yeah, that was actually very, very nasty. Beautiful connection across, takes down Mog already. That's the opening pick into the round. Makes things way, way harder for Reflex. Impact is basically the main man into this one in terms of the firepower he has to play with. JCMX is going to rotate back around towards the A site and attempt to post up a little bit of a defense as everyone else on his squad is over a B. Smokes come out towards the site though, and this is most likely we're going to see that progression coming through. 35 seconds left on the clock now. JCMX being burnt by the Molotov as well. So we have to play a fairly aggressive wide angle by the truck. Makes it easier for them to get the shots out. Laney left on 4 HP, but he can just survive and calm things down.
Yeah, another super clean round coming in from Endpoint. They've been so good on these anti-ecos so far. They seem to be doing similar things each time they come towards the same bomb site, but like I said, they're playing in their pairs. You know, everyone's covering each other. And Reflex, they just cannot get a single foot into the game here. They're going to be gutted that they couldn't win what was essentially a 1v2 at the end with ZNX, where he just denied them a tiny bit into the game. But yeah, it's just another clean anti-eco from Endpoint, and it's going to be another one. Artist just about getting away with his life there. The money situation is going to just start getting better and better for Endpoint here. So they just rack up the cash jacket.
They are. They're living it large. Cash rules everything around me, Jake. Cream, get the money. Dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah. Too right.
Exactly that. 6-0 though. Endpoint just stomping their way through them right now on this T side. And that is the worrying point. This is on their T side. Reflex historically, where they have struggled, it pretty much has been on their T sides. The fact that CT half is just going really raw for them at the moment does not bode well for the course of this game.
Yeah, and we're speeding things up here. Endpoint change of pace. It's the big exec straight from the start, and Artist charging in on the entry jump.
Oh, they don't know he's there as well. He's straight across bridge, gets the first entry. His teammate runs in front of him a little bit. ZNX took the shot for the man, but unfortunately the bodyguard won't help him out to get another kill. 3 versus 3. Impact. He's going to be pushing his way down. Knows there's a player close by the pole. That'll be Langley. Spots out the barrel as well of Lazar. Gets another kill. Mog does some damage, and it's all up to Mighty Max. He's in a 1 versus 2. Historically, normally quite effective in these clutch rounds. Has the pre-fire out. Suspicious of where the second player could be towards upper. Has a good understanding of how to play these rounds. Still a minute left on the clock. Inching his way forward, trying to spot out the graffiti man first. As he slowly dials it back. They've actually wasted enough time here. He's forced to rotate off. We see him come around. He isn't going to be fighting from upper anymore. Mac's going to try and get the bomb plant down. Is able to do so. Can smoke towards bridge and back off. Both of them in a position where they cannot spot him right now. He's got 50 HP. Emmy has 2 flashes. He's got the kit. Mog as well. Full utility here to actually have some leverage to play this one. They don't have to rush it. They know they can try and take their time with it. Max just sat, waiting to see if they're going to push the smoke. They instead wait for it to dissipate. He's close on bridge. He gets the spot off, and he easily makes quick work of Mighty Max there. Reflex getting their opening round, 7 rounds into the game.
Yeah, just timing there on Mighty Max. You know, you could just see him start to very paranoid about where these CTs are coming from. They waited so long to creep up that bridge. He just got a bit shook from ramp. You know, maybe started thinking, well, what if they're flanking me, monster? And yeah, just missed the timing. But nice retake from Reflex there. You know, they played it smart, played it cool, calm, and collected. And yeah, I respect Endpoint trying to change up the pace there. Almost worked. And yeah, Reflex finally getting around on the board here. And there you go, Emmy pressing the advantage there. Let's see if they throw away another 5v4 advantage early into the round. More
solo plays that could be the cause of that backlash. Doesn't look like they're going to do anything too cheeky or outrageous this time around. Instead, Molotov off the potential boost spots. They can't face in towards that B site to get a pick back in the favor of Endpoint. Just trying to waste time. They've used an awful lot of utility, though. Mog's looking like he's getting ready to throw out that smoke as well. So at 1 minute left on the clock, they pretty much will just have only one smoke left and a handful of flashbangs to try and keep Endpoint at an arm's length.
Yeah, but they're set up for this monster play, and yeah, Num already with the opening, and it should be a real shutdown for Reflex. They shouldn't be letting Endpoint get in here. Ooh, Num is flashed himself, but JCMX can clean things up. Impact as well, and it's all on Joe Lazarus. Could be going for a Guardian clip here.
Potentially.
I
He
mean,
pushes into the site. They're all facing him one by one, Jake. They are falling into the trap. Lazar had the smoke to cross towards Pole. He's got 30 seconds left. 2 flashbangs to play around with as well. Paranoid about upper. That smoke's going to be dissipating soon. Tries to fake push towards the site to bait someone into his grasp. Doesn't hear the jump up on top of the box. They're going to fall off. He goes for the peek across, and Mog will get it. Can save that AWP as well. I mean, they actually are going to have 2 AWPs now on Reflex going into round 9.
Yeah, that's 2 rounds in a row where Reflex have held strong on that B bomb site. Wouldn't be surprised if Endpoint maybe divert back towards that A bomb site, maybe send Laney to make a bit of presence towards that short area. However, nice, you know, bit of a recovery here from Reflex. They can string this third one together. I'll start getting a bit of hope back for them, and yeah, Endpoint changing things up once again for more of a 2-2-1. Laney posted out side B as they just take connector as a pair. Reflex have changed their setup as well, though, stacking 3 towards this A-bomb site, maybe reading into how the rounds have played themselves. It's either going to be JCMX moving up there as well, but obviously another strong entry into the round, and yeah, Endpoint falling a bit flat here. Cheeky little boost coming in from Ardis, and Lazar, he's on fine form so far. None could be getting caught out. Scary angle to play against. There you go, Lazar. He's got a 2K with that. Did he? Yeah.
Wait, yeah, he's lined up behind him at map. He's actually giving him the collateral.
And another one. Give us the ace.
Oh, this is madness. He's doing his best Mike Powell impression into this round. Lazar, he wasn't happy with Z-Next getting the ace. Ooh. He wanted one of his own. He's going to pick it up, opens it with the collateral, and just punishes each and every one. And from there on, that's ridiculous, Jake.
That's 2 aces for Endpoint in this game. Still in the first half here. Their individuals really strutting their stuff now. I was talking about it before the game. Best AWP in the UK. Could be back.
Mike Powell's coming back.
I think he's playing WoW.
Oh, probably. WoW Classic. Yeah, these things happen. Ooh.
But there we go. Reflex, their economy can't hold on into this round. They're going to have to take an eco on the chin. And Endpoint, they've played these rounds so nicely so far. And again, just wolf packing towards this Fountain area, and Emmy's going to have to do something incredibly impressive to get anything done here, and surely it's another mop-up for Endpoint. As they start coming around the corner any second now. Nice and slow.
Creeping their way through.
If they're actually going to check this, this could get kind of awkward. Oh, this doesn't look like he wants to.
He's looking that way. I mean, he's ready for it. He does spam off 2 awkward shots. There was definitely an opportunity for the response. Max will be the one to trade it back. It's not too bad. You go 1 for 1 there. He has at least got the word on the play, but the mass over-rotate could actually be quite awkward here for Reflex. They've deviated from that heavy stack towards B, sending their players back over towards the A site. Mog has connector control, but he isn't going to find anyone coming his way. Instead, they're all grouping up outside towards Monster. Still a ton of utility left for Endpoint. The same could not be said for Reflex.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Impact with a Zeus, really, outside Monster, and might be able to squeeze one in, and yeah, fair play. One for the highlight reel, I suppose, and Max trades it out quite nicely. These last 2 players are here, could get it scary, but yeah, I'm just going to spam a few deagle shots, and beautiful from Endpoint. Perfect on their anti-eco so far. They'll be chuffed to bits with that. Unlike that last game where we saw so many scrappy rounds going between each team, Endpoint, you know, they're looking as professional as they have been, really. You know, they're a tight unit, and they're not letting Reflex get any room into this game, and finally they've got enough money to put together another gun round. Not many nades, and only 1 kit on that CT side. It's not ideal. Short aggression coming in, though. It's all on laning here. It's getting really aggressive, but was that? No, it was just a straight spam.
Spam straight through, yeah.
But
a ton of damage.
surely Endpoint might end up speeding up here. They've seen so much aggression from CT side on B, and it's all on Mog. Doesn't even get one frag. If he gets that one kill, you can sort of be happy with that, but Endpoint haven't pressed the advantage just yet. They are now taking the site, and Reflex don't have a single player on this A-bomb site. It's going to be a 4v4 retake out a single kit. It's dropped at the front of A site. It's all coming from CT here, Jack. Be hard to get out here. Go for that boost. Could find some in. And there we go, Jack.
Yeah, a big opening to at least put them into a position potentially to mount the retake here. Ardis spams back through though, gets the first. A huge tag off onto the second as well. Setting up. Ooh, didn't exact up to punish them. Unfortunately though, the response from Emmy is way too hot to handle. And it all comes down to Luzza. The shot was there. It looked like it was fairly lined up. Unfortunately, it isn't going to connect. And Reflex, they mount the retake. They get themselves another round. It is going to be incredibly close, though. Actually, they're not going to get this. Oh,
Yikes.
that's like a what? The last tick? That was so close.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely demoralizing because Impact had picked up the kit.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was... That could have been scary.
Yeah,
you know,
that was
we'll breeze past it, but, you know, Reflex counting is their few blessings that they have this game, and Endpoint probably not too happy losing that 4v4 afterplant situation, and they're deciding, you know, we've had a bit too much of the A-bomb site. We're going to go for another quick B play and more short aggression. This time for JCMX, gets that entry, pulls back in time, and Numb sort of just sitting there, Numb, and he gets ripped off by Next, who presses. But the trade's not really coming out in favor of Endpoint. Impact. Huge impact on the round. 3 kills for him, Jack.
Yeah, just mauling his way through them very, very easily. Reflex starting to find their footing and actually get momentum going for them now as they've been able to chain a couple of rounds together, bring that up to 4. Endpoint, they did rule with an iron fist initially in the beginning of this opening half, but it looks like that has started to slow down a little bit. In terms of the buy they're going to be rocking with, it's pretty much just going to be a bit of a upgraded pistol round. The Deagle's coming through, 1 flashbang on Max, 2 players with Armax, just the one with ZNX there, against the full buy, the full force of Reflex. It's around 13.
Yeah, looks like they're just going to flash his teammates up. Top connector there, and it's a bit of a classic setup here from Reflex. They've stacked 3 people towards this A toilets area. Endpoint not finding anything too early on into the round. It's a long setup, yeah. Should be taking care of Endpoint, no problem. Mog even decides sensibly retreat back to that A site, and Endpoint, they'll wolf back in towards that B bomb site, but Impact and JCMX should be mowing them down. JCMX already getting started, and ooh, he's getting some P2K kills, but I was going to say Ardis finds 2, but they'll be happy with that. You know, should have enough money going into these last rounds of the half. Both teams should be relatively comfortable. Yeah, the double AWP setup coming in for Reflex, and they've definitely found their footing into the later stages of this first half, Jack.
Yeah, they've been able to get themselves back into a position to actually build on that scoreline now. They needed some rounds. City side is normally their forte, so the fact they were struggling was a bit of a question mark. Early pick from Emmy, we see this quite classically, tends to be something that he does utilize fairly often. Endpoint slightly slower around this time. And of course she got that connector control, peeking their way out. There isn't as much aggression from Reflex towards short early, but they're still grouping up. Only difference is the bomb is over towards Fountain.
Go for another boost there on the B bomb site are the Endpoint boys. Not going to be finding anything today. No one's playing barrels at the moment. In fact, I was going to say just drifting into his crosshair, but I think he might have even heard Ardis drop off there, so he's very on edge about that. Endpoint just showing their face a little bit towards the A-bomb site as they walk back towards Monster. I mean, they haven't taken too much map control, as we can see the 2 CTs are still close up in toilets. At the same time, I think that's Numb still on the A-bomb site, so it's only these 2 defenders on the B-bomb site, so if they hit this fast, this could get very scary for Reflex, and here we go.
Ooh, JCMX fires up the warning shot as he's blind, but luckily enough, Impact is able to get a kill on towards Laney. He's only got 46 HP, tries to get the shot off again, but he's blown out of the server by the HE landing on his noggin. 3 versus 3 now. Site control slowly being taken. Endpoint, they're pushing themselves up. They get that bomb planted and they can deviate back. Another response to HE. Bouncing into the face of Emmy. A fair bit of damage done. Max with a follow-up frag. Reflex gets up close and personal with the AWP, trying to use it like a shotgun. It only goes 1 for 1, and it is all on Mog. A 1 versus 2 clutch to try and bring this back for another round for Reflex. Paranoid about them playing towards Monster. Not much time left. Has a kit and a smoke. They will molly towards the site just as he chucks down the smoke. They spam in. Max just going to run through with a wild spab of the knife, but Lazar will get the kill from the Krieg. That goes 9-5 now.
Yeah, always a scary situation when you're diving into a smoke with your knife out, just praying you're going to get some in, but
just hoping you hit him.
Yeah, enough damage between the two of them. Max and Lazar mopping things up. Nice 3v3 after plant there for Endpoint. They'll be happy with that. And yeah, it sort of just came down to that timing where they hit the B bomb site. And Reflex may be caught in their laurels there, just keeping 3 players towards that A bomb site, even though they had such deep control in those toilets. But Endpoint really looking strong in this T side. Could definitely be on the cards here for a 10-5 half. Reflex left with absolutely no guns. Got that double AWP in play, but one of them's already been ripped off by Ardis. That's not the start you want, but
oh,
you know what? That's a reasonable trade. You know, as trades go, just jumping and ripping off Ardis's head. Lovely little lineup. That'll do him nicely.
Yeah, that was smooth. Very nicely executed there from JCMX. Had the lineup perfectly. 1 shot, 1 kill, that's all he needs to bring it back into a 4 versus 4. This also allows Num to actually go for a bit of a play, pushing his way up through the connector. Timing is everything. Spots out the first man in Laney and instantly commits to the fight. Runs his way out of there as he skedaddles back towards the B site, grabbing himself a Krieg as a prize. JCMX, in the meantime, has got a further kill into the round, and it's looking unlikely for Endpoint to actually make this a 10-5 half now. A 9-6 looking way more achievable. Lazar tagged with the AWP, and Mog will finally go for the reface again as well. So a 9-6 scoreline at the half. Endpoint still having an advantage, however not as ridiculous as it seemed like it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to Reflex on that last round. They had those double AWPs to work with, and that got them 4 of their kills. So, you know, using them perfectly. JCMX, you know, he can do that every round. Just bop into people through walls, no problem.
We've got a tweet there from James_Watts. He's loving the new talent hashtag ESL Prem is bringing. I imagine that's directed at you, Jake.
I suppose, but at the same time, I've casted
Many
years
Prem.
ago.
Many a Prem.
So, interesting definition for new, I suppose.
Yeah.
What's he? I mean, you know, not terribly educated. So
Oh, there she is. She's tweeted him.
Jakey's mum. Okay. Well, I didn't realise my mum actually had Twitter.
She does now.
Personally, I think that's someone impersonating her, as she wouldn't use an exclamation mark. She thinks they're tacky.
Does she?
Yeah. Fun fact.
There you go. That sounds like your mum.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say so. Well, who do you think will win? Vote on Twitter. That's at ESL UK, hashtag ESL Prem. Currently looking like we have all the Endpoint fans in the house. 87% to 13.
Yeah. I think I'd have to agree with that. I mean, Reflex, they played fine. You know, they've won a reasonable amount of gun rounds, but Endpoint, they are sort of outclassing them there. And you can see that they just seem to have a bit more of a deeper game plan than Reflex seem to have. And I am worried about their T side here. Endpoint, normally so strong on the CT side, especially on overpass. And Reflex, they're really going to have to dig deep to get something out of this game. Already, we see the same nades on Reflex that Endpoint were rocking in the first half. And a bit of a stack coming out from Endpoint. It's the 3 USP face at Monster. And yeah, they're just taking these early fights. Ardis, he's got that second one fully blind.
Yeah, not bothered at all. Easy kills picked up for the man who lives like a king. And Reflex now pushing their way over towards the A site. They're going to be opening themselves up for a world of pain. Lazar waiting in the close angle, spams across. Doesn't actually get the kill though, Jake. And they've left themselves susceptible to the attack here. Mog and Num both finding a frag apiece. Leaves them into the 3 versus 3. It started off so well, but it's quickly fallen back into a fairly awkward position. Max goes for the push out, pokes and prods, gets another kill as Impact goes down. ZNX is traded. And Numb still trying to play around. The truck is going to get pushed. Mog does some good damage, and it's all up to Artis. He started this round off. Can he close it out? No. It is going to be the T side picking up another round. 2 HP on Numb, 22 for Mog, but they find the frags, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, very awkward there for Lazar on site. Once that first person jumps past you, it just makes things absolutely grim to deal with on that CT side. You know, you've got that P2K, you've only got so many bullets, and you've just got Glocks bouncing around in your face. But yeah, it's that double entry onto the A site, Laney falling instantly as well, and Reflex really digging deep to win that pistol round here, and gives them a decent chance if they can convert these next couple of rounds. Bit of a stack coming out from Endpoint. Might try and sandwich them towards that B shore, but he needs to flash themselves into. So far, Reflex just holding strong, looking for any pushes. Or holding deep connected. They haven't actually got anyone watching the A push, so nice and confident about that. But the B execution is coming in. Mollies and smokes flying in. Let's see if Endpoint can get anything out of this little water stack, and already 2 kills. Is it happening again, Jack?
It looks like it could be the reset round, instantly picked back up, potentially. However, it is going to be the AK spam that completely seals the deal. Morgan, Numb, big impact into the round to actually close it back and nearly tie up the scoreline, as it is now 9-8. Almost neck and neck for these two squads.
Yeah, I mean, I was believing that we were going to see another full eco win for the CTs, but not to be. But the gun round does finally come around with that new economy. Endpoint, they're like, get us on the guns as soon as possible. We don't care, we don't need kits, we're not playing the afterplants. Let's just rip some heads, and seems to be the plan. No real aggression coming in from the CTs, they're just holding strong. Reflex just wolf pack towards that A bomb site. Saw Endpoint take similar map control in the first half. Bit faster pace here on the Reflex side. Lazar could get caught out here if he's not careful. And if he drops his smoke, they're going to know where he is, so it's an awkward situation. Max finally there to help him. Nice flashbang coming in. Not enough of them blind. Emmy probably playing flash, just lining up smokes, but Reflex, they're just charging onto the bomb site, Jack.
Max, that's a whip of a lifetime. He needed to do something there, and he couldn't even amount that. However, Laney, he's in the rear, he's being cheeky, gets one, follows it up with a second frag, goes down to Mog, and it's left in a 2 versus 2. ZNX, again, on the flank. Timing is everything. They're dubious of the smoke. If he walks his way right through it, he will be punished for his sins. However, deviates back and towards the toilets, gets an angle, spots out one of the players. He can relay that information, sees the second as well. Numb with no reaction. It's all up to Mog. They try and fake it, so he focuses towards Bank. ZNX gets the kill, jumps on the bomb for the defuse, and Endpoint secure a 10th round.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate spam from Max there. Hate to see it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that all can sort of get out of control if you don't reset that spray, but Laney, huge impact frags coming in there. Hasn't been having too hot of a game, but the fact that he was that third CT player towards that A bomb site, they just had no idea he was creeping up from long and got 2 massive kills, delayed the bomb plant, and set his team up there for ZNX to come in with 2 crucial kills himself. And yep, Reflex already down to pistols, and Endpoint, their economy's beautiful in comparison, and looks like they're going to go for a double nade on that jump spot over towards B, but Max just actually gets away in time. He'll be happy with himself there. Artist just giving it off short. Does get taken down, however. 4v4 going into this round. Endpoint, they were so clean on their T side anti-ecos.
That's the first time I've actually seen that. Obviously, right, so where there's currently a bug with the HEs, where when they blow up, they then drop and then it makes the bounce noise again. It's been doing it since they made the smoke update to make it so all smokes are the same, right? So all the nades are server side. I don't think it's been fixed yet, because obviously it's still happening. But that time around, when it they naded towards connector, we then saw a player turn around when it did the second drop. So it actually could be quite annoying in these rounds.
Yeah, nice kills actually coming out from Reflex. They've got into this bomb site and made it a 2v2. Rock's already got an AK. Impact might be able to snatch a gun from somewhere, but looks like he's still going to be on a deagle. But this could get very awkward for Endpoint. They're out in nades, really. Lazar's got everything to work with, and it's all on Lazar. He doesn't even have a kit.
This is going to be really awkward. gets the spam across to the UMP.
Endpoint
down.
They were so good on their anti-ecos on the T side, but they've just let things get out of control on that B1 site. You know, you've got Artist swinging on B short. It's not too much to worry about. It goes 1-for-1. You're into a 4v4, but the fact that they traded so evenly, getting into a 2v2 scenario, just makes things so awkward for the CT side, and they'll be reeling from that. Their money in tatters, and Reflex, you know, they're fully back in this game. Should be 10-10 going into this round.
Laney. Give it a dastardly Deagle opener. 2 tags does bring Numb down to 48 HP, but it won't actually be the kill. He's just going to pull back as well. Had a bit of support there from Lazar as they fall back towards the site, trying to complement each other. He's going to be left up on top of the flower pot potentially here. Everyone is actually coming towards long. They're trying to gain that map control, push their way up towards toilets. Laney spots them. He's just trying to bait for Lazar.
Yeah, nice anti-eco coming out from Reflex so far. Just taking it slowly, working towards that A-bomb site. Like I said, Endpoint, they've done this time and time again. Impact could end up getting caught out here if he's not careful, and the flash comes through as well. Oh, they get both of them.
That's
disaster
huge
for Reflex. Now they're just forced into this bomb site. Artist gets one even. And this is so awkward for Reflex. But Endpoint, they don't have any armor, Jack. This could turn into a bit of a mowdown.
It's all up to just the pure rifling capabilities. Laney gets one back on towards Mog. He stops there, didn't commit for the spray and try and get a little bit more. And it's all up to Emmy playing around the site. He has a flashbang in hand. They do have a Molotov left on Lazar. They face out, but ZNX with a USP just wide swings and batters him. That is an 11th round, fully secured now. Endpoint, 11-9. They're looking good on their CT side, bringing it back.
Yep, that's fine. You lose an eco, you win an eco. Yeah, we'll forgive you. Forget about it, you know. Imagine if teams could win gun rounds, Jack. That's my point for you. Imagine if teams could win gun rounds.
It would be a glorious day. You know, you can't have everything you want.
But yeah, I mean, that just got so awkward for them over towards that long toilet. It's perfectly timed flashbang. Impact, and I believe it was Numb helping him out. They just got caught jumping, switching weapons, and yeah, you have to sort of just sprint onto that A-bomb site. Artist lying in wait, and you're already into a 2v5. No hope. Yeah, Endpoint bounced straight back.
Ooh. Max going for the jump spot over the boost, trying to figure out where he should actually use this nade to try and do a little bit of damage here. It is just the one player pretty much though, faking towards the B site. Another man in connector, that'll be Numb. The players with the rifles though are grouping themselves up and trying to get that control towards toilets. They're going to pick on B as well. If this forces any kind of rotate, it could actually leave them fairly susceptible to this attack that's slowly building towards A.
Yeah, it's just Lazar here. Depends how he's going to play this. Gets one kill. Is he just going to fall back? No, he's going to jump spot and get his head ripped clean off. Now Endpoint have no info. They've lost the A site. They're at a man disadvantage, and are they about to get eco'd straight back? What's going on?
Yeah, this is rough. Very up and down. Molotov on the site to try and force the man off. Instead, just falls back slightly towards map, trying to hold a crossfire to bait Endpoint in. Ugh, Max goes down with the Deagle. Laney's going to trade it. Will he realize this man on close right? Of course he will. However, the player towards Truck being quite annoying. Impact. Swings wide, gets the kill with the AK. ZNX trades it back, needs to smoke the bomb and try and jump on it. JCMX has only got 16 HP. He might have actually fallen for this one. I believe that ZNX is stuck on the bomb. Instead, though, sits towards toilets, wait till he taps it again, shoots one single shot, gets the kill. And Reflex, they re-ecoed the team that just ecoed them after the eco.
Yeah, I'm sort of lost for words there, Jack. I mean, in that last situation, at least for ZNX, it's kind of unlucky. As JCMX, I'm pretty sure he was out of bullets after he tagged him with that first shot, but seemed to be enough to just scare ZNX that Jay was just going to face him outright, but in the end it plays perfectly into his hands. He gets the reload off. ZNX re-taps the bomb and just instantly spams him down, but Endpoint shaky on this CT side so far, Jackie. I was giving them all the praise in the world, but you've already lost 2 ecos. And I mean, Reflex, surely you don't just flounder now and you take this chance that you've gifted yourself, and you convert this round. It's not going to be a clean eco from Endpoint, however. They're going to force straight back into it. Sensible decision, seeing as Reflex only had one man alive. Their economy's not looking too sharp, and a decent amount of weaponry on this Endpoint side. Ardis and Mighty Max relegated to those pistols. Already, Ardis, part of the early aggression. He's only got that P250 to work with, and he's been taken out straight away. They're just wolf-packing onto this B-bomb side, Jack. This is scary.
Laney sitting towards the back of the site, just holding up, waiting for this push to come through, seeing if they are actually going to get overly aggressive though, but he actually peeks towards site, kills the bomb planter, Max as well, springs into action all of a sudden. They were trying to play it so slow, so steady, but instead they've made the first move, and everything has been flawless. No stepping correctly, everyone's been punished, and the only man left is Numb in a 1v2. Has the smoke, was contemplating smoking towards upper, instead drops it at his feet, spots out another man as well as his side crosses towards it, and then try and get that bomb down. There's 2 flashbangs left to play with, waiting for the peak to come towards him. Jake knows they're by graffiti, bounces the flashbang in, really actively trying to make the play, but it doesn't work well for him.
Yeah, I mean, Endpoint played that very well. Once they've lost those first 2 kills, they sort of predicted that Reflex might just get a bit hungry, just commits that B bomb site, and Laney with a beautiful spray down on the bomb plant, a perfect lineup, and then Max jumping onto bomb site like a madman.
That was wild.
He gets that kill, drops off, and Lazar comes in, mops up with his AWP, and finally Endpoint looking stronger on their CT side, and they're just going to want to have to win out from here. Reflex again forcing back into this, so no team allowed a comfortable just streak into this round. They've just been trading and trading rounds. As soon as Reflex got onto this T side, it's been messy, Jack.
Has been indeed. Ooh, like they could have done a ton more damage as well. Gets a fair bit off though. JCMX brought down to 83 as they try and push their way through the playground area early to open this one up.
Yeah, Ardis getting a lot of info at B short just now. Hasn't heard anything, and it's the 3-man rotation up towards A. Mighty Max shifting over as well. And yeah, Reflex, they've got no map presence towards that side of the bomb, that side of the map, and yeah, that could come back to bite them even, if they do end up finishing A here. Me going for a jazzy little boost. Saw Lazar hit a similar shot earlier on. Is Max going to give him the jump peek? Doesn't look like he wants to. Doesn't look like he wants to even, if I could speak. Would help.
Yes.
And there you go, Emmy. Finally, Max looks like he just peeked in front of that. Nub, what an entry. Just swinging, and it's all on Lazar. 3-man setups become 1.
Lazar, as the push comes through, the quick flick around, takes down Impact. Mog with the CZ, responds back though as he spams his way through. You're left into a 2 versus 3. ZNX, he needs that kill. Luckily, there's a trade at least. Ardis scrambles to grab the Kalashnikov, armed with the AK, and he's trying to slay. Wants him to hit the DECK. They try and fake flash him with an AWP, and then Mog peeks him.
Yeah.
All right, they win the round.
Sure. I'll give you that one. Yeah. And again, we've traded straight back. It's just been since pistol, well, not since pistol rounds, but since like that first gun round, it's just been back and forth. These 2 teams cannot decide if they want to actually win this game, Jack. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Endpoint go and win this round. However, they are all relegated to those pistols this round. It looks like they're just going to take B short from the start. Of that, Molly's put them straight off that idea. And yeah, once again, the ball's straight into Reflex's court. Need to start converting these rounds cleanly. Endpoint not enjoying themselves on the CT side. It's looking very shaky.
Molotov goes down by
Nice
Lazar.
flash though.
Oh, he pushes his way out to at least get 1 tag off, but it isn't going to be the frag. Emmy stays alive, just brought down to 52 HP. If they wanted to win this round, that could have been the opening to do it with. Instead, it leaves them in quite a predicament now.
Yeah, wonder if we're going to see a pause come out from Endpoint at any point, just to talk about the CT side, because they're really not finding much luck. Only 1 gun round that they've won cleanly, to be honest. And this round again, not finding anything with their pistols, and left onto Ardis and Mighty Max. Ardis, if you will, but already 1/2 of that epic duo has fallen. And Mighty Max, he's just sitting at truck, you know. Can't even get in it. Wants to drive it straight back to the Endpoint house. But doesn't work, Jack. Truck's dead. Just like the rest of his team.
Yep. Much like the round for Endpoint as well. Meaning this is going to be tied up 12-12. It's going to be a very close game from this point onwards as well.
Yeah, I mean, Endpoint fully forcing into this round, so Reflex given the opportunity to take the lead going into this next round. Ooh. He's going to find Numb and might be able to save a gun. A few terrorists around him, so have to pick the right path to get away, but depends if Jay wants to find him. Oh, this is going to be very tight. If he peeks out long, he's dead. If he peeks to Fountain, he's dead, and he's dead.
Yeah, no matter where you go, you are going to be taken down. 12-12 as that round gets concluded. We're very close to our finale here, essentially, of this one, because Endpoint, they're not going to have much cash at all going into this round, debating what they actually want to do, seeming like it will just be rocking with those pistols. Play this one out to Nico, rebuy up going through from this point, and it is going to be a struggle. Reflex, completely armed to the teeth, looking like the warlords they are. Should be an easy pickup of round 13. They are gaining a lot of map control early on as well. They can storm their way up long. Endpoint might as well throw down a welcome mat and invite them in, Jake.
Yeah, exactly, Jack. I mean, we've seen the 5 USP / P2K stack work once today. Was over on train. But not seemingly the case this round. It's just going to be JCMX poking his head around this B bomb site, and once he sees what's in store for him, should be telling his teammates just to sprint up to the A bomb site. He's not even going to get one for his trouble. And there you go. That should be the round from here on out. Endpoint should... I mean, you should be happy with saving that AK. Arda should be getting out of dodge, but he's charging right up there with his boys. They want to make something happen here, Jack.
They do. I mean, they're trying their luck. They threw it back to ZNX, which was the correct call to make. He was the low man, and they're actually going to send him out just to save it, right? So he sprints out of there, everyone else fights. They get 2 players low, they don't get the kill. It was a gamble, it doesn't pay off. Reflex at this point, going to get that 13th round.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just save that gun. Although...
He is playing this quite risky.
Yeah, and they're getting close to him. I'm just sort of backing off now, and he's going to make the jump. No, it's just...
He's really playing this quite risky.
He doesn't care. I mean, no one could be in con, Jack. No one. You know, no possibility.
It's fine. Well, he survives.
Yeah, and another pause for Endpoint, I presume, just thinking about this buy. They are going to be committing to it, and I mean, it doesn't leave them with a lot to work with. They'll have a rifle and all their players. Not, I don't know, who's going to sacrifice it for a kit? Max probably. I mean, no, he's not even going to get a kit. So Endpoint, another round without a kit. Dodgy-ish buy. I mean, they sort of have to hold Reflex here. They don't want to let things get out of control, let them get to 14, 15. So Endpoint, hopefully they've been discussing what's been going wrong on their CT side so far. 2 for masses. It's not what you want to be dealing with, you know.
Lazar still has a ton of money. He could have bought a kit, and he hasn't.
That's rough. I don't know what he's doing. He could have dropped one of those for masses.
Yeah, that's actually really weird.
Because you paused, surely, to talk about the buy.
If that is Lazar's cash, that's...
Could be getting lied to. They've got.
That's a yikes. Oh.
Ouch. Those nades have come in. Max is somehow still alive. He's counting his blessings. Going to re-aggress Monster. They need to do something here. Already low into the round. They've got no idea where these 2 players are.
Not the way you want to start it off. And it could get even worse for Ware as well. Emmy, you could feel that spider sense tingling, hungering for someone to actually face him, make any kind of noise to allow him to get that pick. ZNX, though, holds close towards Monster.
The issue is, for Endpoint, they have absolutely no aggressive nades they can use to defend this B bomb site. ZNX again going to re-aggress, gets a bit of info, but gets his legs shot off as well. They could be coming in. Like I said, they have no nades to defend against with. Rotation is coming in for Endpoint. I believe they have 4 players here, and Emmy opening things up, Jack.
Yeah, Death from above, raised up and just punishing everyone. That's a double kill for Emmy. Leaps his way on towards the site. Artist tries to strike on the iron top. Gets one at least, they delve down in front of him, drops the Famous, grabs the AWP, wants another follow-up frag, but it's not meant to be, and it's all down to Laney. A 1 versus 2, creeping his way back towards the bomb site. Suspect of where that player could be. Knew Mog was hiding in close range, gets the kill. Still on with the Famous, but as he pushes the site, the AK is going to be stronger, slain down. And Reflex bring themselves up to 14 rounds. At this point, Jake, I wouldn't be surprised if they went on to close down this one.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to Reflex here. Their T rounds, we were, curious about whether they've actually fixed any of those issues they've always had on that T side, but finally, the way they enter bomb sites at the moment, they're just trading perfectly. Endpoint just cannot get a foothold. Fair enough, they haven't had the buys to facilitate that, but that's come down to them messing up on their anti-ecos and letting Reflex have multiple opportunities to get back in this game when really they could have smashed this out 16-5, early T, early Dominoes takeaway, but it's just not happening. Endpoint technically have to give them match point here unless they can get something done with these 5 pistols, only 3 of them committing to armor, and yeah, this is not looking ideal for Endpoint. Gonna have to really have a resurgence here at the end of this game to claw it back to that dreaded overtime situation.
Yeah, this is...
And even then, you're not even picking up full points against a team that you relatively should be beating, but Numb, lovely entry. Laney trying to get cheeky up on that boost, but he's not having it. Again, yeah, Reflex, they look fine on these anti-ecos, trading nicely. They're just going for this wolf pack. We've seen time and time again from both these teams. This could get a bit awkward. Falling into Z and X there. Lazarus lurking around those quick toilets, and is it happening once again, Jack?
Lazar pushed by Emmy, the CZ strong in close range, able to spam his way through him. Artist as well, proving even from a distance it could be quite lethal. Max, early spam comes off with the Deagle, drops the smoke in front of him as well, so he can try and creep out towards the site if need be. Leaves them fairly paranoid about him, which does waste some time, and time is of the essence as well. They don't have long. They are going to commit to that bomb plant, it seems, and try and get it down now. 8 seconds left on the clock. He peeked. He might have actually been able to get the shot off and deny this one. Instead, though, Impact caught being pushed from all angles as they absolutely swarm their way back on. They can get the defuse, bring that up to a 13-14 scoreline as Endpoint at least keep it close.
I don't know what to tell you, Jack. Neither team actually wants to win. Both of them just losing more anti-ecos than I can count in the second half.
Yeah.
Reflex, you have it on a platter to take yourselves to match point. Endpoint still not with a fantastic buy going into that last round of the game potentially, but they fall flat. Numb getting a bit greedy maybe towards that B short area, not accounting for Z and X so close, and Lazar getting a kill so quickly. It all just fell apart in a matter of seconds for Reflex, and they do have enough money to buy into it. Been having nice clean rounds. Could get a bit awkward if they lose this one. 3 of their players, but already some early damage done onto Z and X. He's stuck in this corner at Monster. He's just going to hang around. Reflex takes some B short control.
ZNX moves back around, hungering towards short, expecting this potential push. JCMX supporting Emmy. He has that scope in hand, the AWP. Ready to try and strike someone down and get an initial pick to bring them into a position to win this one. ZNX waits for the face, gets the spam up. JCMX is done and dusted. Can get the smoke down as well, but it does fumble it ever so slightly. And they trade back onto Hardest. Nearly loses his life through the smoke as well. But at least they're wasting some time here and keeping it somewhat close in the 4v4.
Yeah, Monster Smoke comes in. I believe that's Mighty Max from A site or Sandbags. Just supporting ZNX here. Bit of a cautious start into the round from both teams, and they are just going to speed up on this B-bomb site. ZNX already falls. It's left onto Lazar and Mighty Max.
Ooh. Okay, well, he's forced them back out of the site. Laney's going to wait for the kill in the rear. Does eliminate Emmy. Max as well with a peek out. Shoots his way through Numb and leaves it all up to Morgan in a 1v2. 20 seconds left on the clock. He has the bomb. He's got no utility to play with. And he's not going to have much time either, as it's rapidly ticking its way down.
Yeah, you can't even plant in this situation. He's going to go and press on Max, try and find that kill. Max playing that so well.
It's
Yeah, Max, even on 30 HP, just does so well to move himself around into that CT corner, and yeah, that's a hard clutch to win. And Endpoint digging deep at the end of this game, and I mean, I was saying it's not going to be pretty for Reflex, and it really isn't. Most of their players not even at that 3K mark, and they're essentially not even committing to this round. They're happy enough to give Endpoint match point, investing some pistol and armor, but it's not ideal. But we've seen these rounds work time and time again. Max is playing this angle again, and luckily, like before, he gets out just in time. He's still alive. You know, his head's not ringing. Those nades fall flat. Endpoint. They must be just praying that they can hold on to an anti-eco on the CT side. Laza looks like he's going to be key to this round already. Lovely entry. Really been struggling stuff this match. 25 frags.
Yeah.
Solid performance from him.
It's a huge game from Laza. Definitely has been having a big impact into the server. A minute on the clock. The first push comes around. JCMX basically offers himself up as sacrifice towards B. Laney, small fumble, but quickly composes himself to take down Mog. Laza, no more blood being added to that tally though. However, Max will respond. Strikes down. Gets that kill. Laney tagged up, and it is all on Emmy. 40 seconds on the clock as he pushes his way up towards the site. Absolutely blind and being spammed from all manner of direction. And Endpoint finally secure match point. The worrying factor is, though, is it going to be the win? Or will we be pushed into another overtime scenario here?
Yeah, Reflex. I mean, some of these players that are down to 1-2 grenades, maybe they need to start questioning what they bought that round before, because you're going into the last round of the game and you don't have everything that you want to play with to work with, and you're handicapping yourself in a round that you're throwing away, essentially. So, a bit questionable there, but they are just 5-man walking out Fountain here, storming their way to the A site as they take Toilets control. But Endpoint, they're going to be finding it themselves. It's Laney and Laza up here. Laza been having a blinder of a game. See if he can carry on here, Jack.
Well, they peel back towards site instantly. They don't want to play too aggressive, but talking about being aggro, they just take the firefight. Impact as well with the flick up on Laza. Decapitates him and absolutely decimates the hole towards the site instantaneously. And now leaves him into a 3 versus 3. Ardis trying to make the play from the rear, comes up behind, will get an important frag. And they put themselves in a position to close it down. Numb is so low, 20 HP. If they can get these picks, they can punish him and shut it down. JCMX might be low, but he has the AWP. Focusing towards the site. Does he realize where Max is? Max will get the flick up. The AWP punish. That's a 16-14 scoreline as they will shut this one down. And Endpoint will take it home. They beat out their opponents there in Reflex. They just wanted to make you wait for that one. But in the end, Endpoint will take it.
That timing there on that 1v1 from Max, he's played that perfectly again. That's just the experience shining through. You know, he moved out just as JCMX, you know, he was holding that angle, expecting Max to peek him. Just as he moves around, Max is there. Gun in face.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But I mean, wow, Endpoint, skin of their teeth. You know, you're looking at that score and you're like, how are Reflex taking Endpoint all the way to 30 rounds on Overpass? And that T side looked so good for them. And it just all fell apart on that CT side. So, you know, some teething errors, you know, you're going to have those issues. It's a new lineup. Probably haven't played Overpass too much together, so that CT side shows some cracks at the moment, but they should get that fixed.
Yeah, still looking good, though, overall, as they will be able to close that one down in the end. Definitely a shaky affair. Really could have gone either way. That did seem to sort of be the, you know, the toss-up between the two sides of who would be able to take it. But Endpoint get another win this season. They're not going to be left on the floor like they were last time around. So we do have that one wrapped up. One final game of the night to come. In the meantime, enjoy the replays from this Overpass Bonanza, and we'll see you with our last game of the night. And welcome back to the ESL Premiership. We're plugged in for our last game of the night. Hopefully, this one will send us off with a bang. Someone that always looks banging, though, it's Jakey.
Oh, maybe not in that picture that they tweeted out announcing my casting arrival, but, you know, I guess the guy working social media probably just hates me. So, yeah.
Single him out, Jake.
Well, I've forgotten his name, so...
Talk down the lens to him.
Whoever you are, not very nice.
There you go.
But yeah, moving on. Yeah,
Strong
I mean, that was
words.
strong words. I mean,
All right.
it's a PG-13 show, so...
Yeah, I hope we don't get banned. That's a TOS breach right there. That was pretty
I
heated.
apologise. All right,
well-
it's okay. Well, sure. Blimey, gee.
We'll dial it back.
Oof. Oof. But yeah, moving on. We just saw Endpoint just about edge out over Reflex there. Max on Twitter, not even close.
No.
You know, he's been through those sort of results before. He knows what he's doing, you know. I'm sure nothing can surprise him anymore, actually.
Well, let's see if this is going to be a surprise. We have the rosters for our final game of the night, as we can see who is playing. Obviously, London versus Royals to take us through our last spot here.
Yeah, London in decent form coming into this season of Prem. You know, they just won Season 2 of the Grosvenor Epic LAN. And, yeah, I mean, they've been looking hot. They've had some decent MDL results, I believe, or was that just ESEA Advanced? I'm not too sure, but they've been looking, I mean, very on form. You know, since Ash came in as coach, they seem to have been putting in a lot more time together as a six, I suppose. And, yeah, it's been showing. On the other hand, you've got Royals who, you know, they're always here for a fight, it seems. Every season of Prem, you've got Capers in there, you've got his 4 boys, and they're always putting up a fight. This week, we've got Ozzy and Jenko playing with them, so that's an interesting one. That's a lot more firepower for that team.
It is different, yeah. Obviously, the return of Ozzy back to gaming, back to CS, really, is obviously the return.
Was it Fortnite that he ran off to?
It was Fortnite for
How did that go for him?
time. You know, he built some walls. He broke some walls. He reached some new heights when he built some ramps, but he's always back at CS. That's
Sure.
where you end up. Let's have a look at the veto, though, and see if we'll be heading over to Tilted Towers on this one. No veto.
So, that's
No veto.
not us.
This,
the teams, they
no
don't
veto.
care.
It's gone.
You know, I'll play anything. You know, just roll the dice, pick a number. I'll play anything.
Yeah.
You know, why aren't we playing Vertigo? You know, it should be up to admin's decision, I reckon. If no teams veto, we'll just pick.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah, Inferno, I guess.
that's what we have.
Yeah. I mean, they're not bothered to do the veto. Maybe we shouldn't even talk about it, Jack. We should just sit here in silence, potentially. You know, put as much effort as these two teams, you know. But we can't do that.
I was trying to. I was sat there in
Well,
silence.
I mean,
you know.
If you want to...
It's one of those. We could just leave.
You want to go?
You know, technically, if you don't submit the veto within 15 minutes, we are allowed to leave.
We are, yeah. So
that is a rule.
it's been a good night.
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching the ESL.
Exciting games, yeah.
It was good. Two good games tonight.
Thanks
There
to
we
the
go.
sponsors and such.
Shut down the lights.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Are we rolling credits or?
Fire the credits.
Oh,
Shut off the lights.
I think we actually have to do the game, Jack.
All right. Well, we'll carry on.
But yeah, Inferno. My mum knows how to play Inferno. Everyone does, you know.
Does she? What would your mum play? I feel like she'd be a banana player, Jake.
She does, yeah.
Yep.
She just sprints in there with a molly and a nade. She drops them all at the same time, dual wields them.
Wow.
Just absolute huge amounts of utility damage.
She's got the raw wrist strength.
Yeah. And, okay, I like this stack. 5-man down mid, potentially, from London Esports. It's the mid/second mid attack from the CTs, and somehow no one's dead yet, but there we go. It's all kicking off.
Ooh. Adam's going to carry it on as well. Emin and Ozzy, down and out. Well, I mean, the Ts are currently playing where the CT should be. That's what switched around into this one, is they do have full banana control. They're not going to push their way up it, though. Paranoid as they are, actually watching towards top banana, expecting someone to push down. They need to re-aggress. If they swing from mid now, they can spot them all out as they're running with tails between their legs. But it's not looking good. Although the bomb flies back as well. The sheer gravity of that shot forces it back in their direction. They're into a 2v2, and they're pincered as well. They jump up on top of the broken wall, doing a good device impression there, seeing if they can actually get a shot off down towards Fraser. Fully commits, but it doesn't work. No matter, though, as Cray's in the rear, and he wants to do something filthy. Gets one frag, forces Capers his hand. He goes for the entire rotate over towards the A site, and they're left in the 1v1.
Yeah. Kray's already taken a blow to the head though, so only playing around with that 2 HP. So he's going to have to just rip Capers straight off. Nice and clean headshot. It's the only really play Kray's got left into the round, and Capers playing it smart. Betting on Kray not having a kit, which he doesn't, and mammoth of a task really for Kray to win this.
Some loud elephant-level footsteps as well being made for Kray. As KP sprints his way around. Oh, Kray gives the game away here. There is absolutely no time. He's got no life, no stopwatch to keep an eye on that clock, and no opening pistol round either. A bit of an elongated one, considering the fact it was an all-out burst down towards mid. A trade of positions, but in the end, it is going to be a Royals round, and the T side open it up. Yeah,
I mean, pistol rounds, sometimes they do just come round to those 1v2, 1v1s, awkward situations, and Capers comes out on top there. Loves a pistol round, that guy. The CT straight into the force here. They believe they can win this round with the utility. They've partnered up with these pistols, and probably not the damage they would have wanted early on into the round. Are still going to aggress on this corner area of the map, and Royals aren't giving it up for free either. They're holding fast, slowly pushing these CTs back, taking that top banana control, and already London, they're running out of smokes. Ideally, you want to keep these 3 smokes at least a minute into the round, you know. Don't want to be throwing them that early, and Adam waits as long as he physically can, sees that CT smoke up, and he's going to get boosted up. However, Royals, they're backing up. Showing enough presence towards this B bomb site, and they're sprinting back to this A bomb site.
Link with the deagle in hand, spots them by quad, instantly bounces his way around, hiding on site as he will recoil out of there. Mezzi trying to play at least some kind of angle that will complement him with the C's there, but he can't quite get the kill. Jenko dealing damage out with the AK. The assault from the Mac-10 as well, as the big Mac Daddy returns. Aussie making his presence known on the server.
Yeah, looked like he was transferring some of those Fortnite skills, just jumping around like a maniac with a Mac-10. Who needs to counter-strafe? You know, just jump.
Obviously, pretending it's the drum gun there, Jake.
Ah, yes.
Quite an unbalanced
I know
weapon.
Fortnite me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I saw you can fly in planes now.
I don't know if the planes are still in it. I think
Okay.
they got rid of the planes.
Okay.
But you know, there was cannons for a while.
Mm. Personally, that's how I like my esports. You know, when they update the game and change it completely every month or so. Makes for a really competitive game.
Next week we'll have Jake's thoughts on Overwatch. But for the meantime, that is Royals picking up a second round, as they have been able to secure that one. Looking pretty damn effective. Obviously, 2 players surviving for London, as they will transfer through with that armor.
Yeah, going to be a bit of a throwaway round here. Wouldn't be surprised if you see some sort of 4 or 5 player stack from the CT side. However, Fraser going to see if he can get anything magical done. Just facing straight down mid, fair play, and we did just about see it. You know.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll give Ben the benefit of the doubt. It's fine. We can imagine what happened.
See, I got baited in there. I thought they went for the double nade because of the grenade bug.
Ah.
So it sounded like one landed, then there was another one that was landing. I was like, oh, here we go.
Debated.
Yeah.
Fraser, second frag into the round. Everyone else is grouping towards B, and they've already got 3 men there on the CT side. Adam here with the 5/7 armor as well.
Oh, that is incredible. The fact he's been able to get that second one on the trot back.
Even the third there, Jack.
Yeah, the confidence on this man.
And there you go. I mean, that is all they had to work with. 5/7 armor, Deagle armor, and your Deagles just walked out mid, shook Royals with that instant headshot, crept back round, found Capers sleeping in alt mid, and yeah, they funneled them straight into Adam's 5/7. He mows them down. And London, they've given themselves a great start back into this CT side.
Crazy bit is as well, Jenko currently has the top fragging position for Royals. He's a man we haven't really seen in a little while.
Yep.
You know, sort of pretty much made his retire from the scene. He did say he was looking to step away from CS. He's He's now come back, it seems, obviously, even if this is just a bit of a one-off here playing with Royals. He's a man that used to post up some outrageous levels of numbers.
Yeah, I mean, just an absolute talent, you know, rivaling that of players like Frey and Stanley in terms of his aiming ability, but never seemed to get that fond of playing those structured team sort of setups and seemed to sort of lose love for the game, as so many of these younger players ended up doing it around, I'd say, last year. You know, end of last year, everyone sort of got a bit fed up with the game. Everyone was happy to bicker with each other, and yeah, you saw people like Jenko just drop out from the scene, and it's such a shame that we can't utilize talents like that, because that is what's really holding us back as a scene, that we can't get those mad fraggers in real teams and, you know, having a strong impact. To this round, however, very awkward for London. I think taking that fight, but he goes down only getting one, and it's all on Cray so far.
Cray, can he hold back the river here as they push up towards the site? Cape is going to be obliterated there by the Org. Adam as well, having a banger of a round, picks up the 2K, spams onto the third, but Evan is eventually removed by Mezzi. And they do go 2 for 2 as they tie this one back up.
Yeah, Adam seems ready going into this game. Already had 2 impactful rounds. And he is another player that's sort of came out of nowhere. Nice younger player and so much skill behind him. And if he can just harness those abilities, you know, go forward with this London team. They seem like a nice bunch of lads, you know. They're all happy to play it out together, stick together. Yeah, we're getting some nice results as they should be just mowing down everyone in mid. It's Fraser mopping them up. Could be another ace here today, Jack.
Nearly the 5K, couldn't quite get it though. Wasn't able to get the initial shot off with that USP in the end. So Jenko beats him out with the Glock. Scavenges is the Org. And that puts it back into a 1 versus 3 round. He does have no armor. Somehow still has full HP though. There wasn't a single shot that connected onto him. Uses the Molotov to try and get the cross. Tags up the Arch player. Adam left on 3 HP. But he will win out that fight.
Yeah, clean enough there for London. If Adam had dropped, would have been a bit of a scary round, but they hold strong. Royals back into the bye. Let's see if they can get their foot straight back into this game, as they're still going to be reeling from that anti-eco that they lost over at Banana. Does look like Fraser wants to get aggressive as well with that all pick, but he's still just facing straight down mid, and all the actions at top Banana. Mezzi just drops a bit of a disjointed attack there from the CTs. Adam is going to clean things up. 4v4 into the round now. Bit of mid presence getting shown by Capers, but nothing very concrete, and Adam's going to re-aggressive.
Ooh. Carcass gets the pick towards top Banana. Makes that defense on B even harder now, as it literally is just down to Cray. He has a smoke and a flash to play with. Gonna cast out the smoke grenade, forced back as he's trapped over by Nubox. Flashes up, peeks out, but no one is blind. And it's not gonna matter as he's down and out instantly anyway. Royals, they will get another round here. It's gonna go up to 3-3.
Yeah, Cray unlucky not to really get a handle on that first frag that came his way. Would have made things interesting if he'd got at least 1 and maybe 2. But yeah, that top Banana there, Mezzi getting caught out, really didn't seem too ready for that aggression. To be fair, the Ts were running through Molotovs, grenades, but it is just chaos on B sometimes. But the CTs, they just weren't ready for it this round, Jack. And yeah, Roy's back into it. Another close game here, 3-3.
Jenko looking to see if he can actually eliminate these players that are chilling towards pit, trying to get a save going. Clears the site. Actually gonna push out.
Yeah, doesn't have too much money to his name, so sensible enough. Trying to build a bit of a bank on that T side. Here we go. What's the response from London? Potentially going to have to send 3 people B if Royals are going to be that aggressive towards that top Banana area. It is. Fraser's coming over with his AWP. Might even just go for a straight up face. He's got the spawn for it. Royals, they're only sending 1 man here this round.
Ooh. Smoke blocks the molly towards top car. Fraser allowed to peek on the right hand side, giving him a little bit of a nice smoke to face from. Flash over, could be the peek into the AWP, fires off the warning shot just in case, but it isn't going to connect onto anyone. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad is heavily grouping up to try and get that apps control towards the A site.
Yeah, I mean, Fraser, he's hanging around there, top banana. Looks like they want to re-aggress at some point. Maybe they're even assembling a little boost, but the play is going to come straight onto the A bomb site, and Mezzi's not very close for the rotation. He's even moving off towards City Spawn. They're not ready for this at all. It's all on Link and Cray, and Link has absolutely demolished the attack. Chenko left in a 1v4.
Rough. Chenko trying to make the best of a bad situation, though, as he pushes his way out back on the site. Gets that kill. Realizes he needs to scavenge the bomb quickly. Doesn't have a lot of HP left, but he still has time to play with. Fake plant to bait them out. They're not going to fall for it. Molotov on towards the site. Won't actually spread far enough. They're all grouped up as well. No one's gone round towards quad side. They're all just going to push together. He's still trying to bait them in. Tapping with a fake plant. Peeks into them, though. And Adam's ready for it.
Yeah, that just shows how powerful that crossfire between pit and site can be. Link just tearing Royals a new one as they came out of those apps. And yeah, I was very confused as to where Mezzi was positioning himself deep in Speedway when Fraser was looking down all the way to bottom banana, but no issue when you got Link on site just mowing people down, and Royals forced onto the pistol armor early on into this first half.
Lots of utility used towards banana instantly to open this one up. Everyone just battling, casting everything they have against either side. Adam's going for the elevated peek over, a bit of a boost, jumps up onto the wall so he can spot bottom banana. But instead, mid-control seems to be the key. Pushing their way up. They can force their hand in apps if they want to. Quad is entirely open. It is susceptible. You've got a two-player arch set up, and just Link holding from back of pit as he waits for this burst to come through. Flashback over isn't going to blind it, but the follow-up will. But look at the amount of damage already done just from the utility as they charge their way on site. Cray, Fraser, and Link all come into effect. The trifecta punishes each and every one of them. And there is only one casualty in that round for London. Cray getting taken down. Other than that, pretty damn flawless.
Yeah, reasonable idea from Royals. Cheeky little apps pop with pistols. Could work out for you, but London, they've held very strong on this A site so far. Cray and Link really locking things down. That might be Royals' kryptonite here. They were very successful when they took B earlier on in that first gun round. And it looks like, yep, they're sending 3 players early there this time, and Fraser's going to get absolutely demolished trying to aggress.
Yeah, he's run the risk there, going for the wide face with the AWP, hoping to try and get an early pick. He won't get that. He won't actually get anything for his time. Mezzi going to be put on the boost. He's just playing anti-flash, it seems, trying to work for his teammate. Actually just lining up the angle so he has the optimum position to play with.
Yeah, the double CT play makes sense. Cray should technically be sort of bait for Mezzi in that situation. You know, you see someone playing CT, fire off a few shots and jump back through the smoke, and T's shouldn't be aware that someone's up on boost. Going to be moving around to coffins now as that third player joins in, as Link has taken so much map control in second mid, but Cape is very awkward timing for both of these players. Cape is, he's not going to be ready for this. Ooh. There you go, Royals, they're stuck into committing to B, and London, they've got the perfect setup for this, Jack.
Yeah, they're going to have to execute here on the B site. They're ready.
Still got mollies. This is going to be rough.
Here comes the push through. Mezzi trying to play anti-flash. Adam gets up close and personal for the first. Just battling this. Doesn't give a damn. Is quite willing to try and take these firefights, and it pays off for him. Everyone finding the frags they needed to. Again, just one casualty on London, and another tidy round picked up as the banana play doesn't work out too well. Wasn't ripe enough for Royals.
Yeah, it's just absolutely perfect rotations coming in from London. Huge play from Link, I believe, yeah? Pushing second mid.
Yes.
And, yeah, like you said, they were both just facing from coffins and pit. No respect. Once they put those mollies out, you know Royals are sprinting through smokes and mollies with 30 seconds left. It's so hard to get into that B-bomb site. Yeah, brilliant round from London. Chenko, lovely B coming in. Almost looked like he was going to get that second one onto Mezzi. And Banana's real area of contention going into this game, and seems to be Royals' best bet of getting an entry into these rounds.
Carcass fairly low at this point. Aussie as well, brought down to 24. Not too much offensive utility left though for the CT sides. They can't really use that to try and blow them out without fighting them. But the AWP will do just enough. Gets that first pick. Leaves them with a 3 versus 4. They're going to try and take Arch side. Cape is hoping to sell some kind of fake and keep them focusing towards quad side. But as they run out, it's an easy tap. They get over towards the site. The no-scope from Fraser will be connected. And it's all on Aussie. Skulking his way through. Gets over by Speedway, but he is going to be spotted out. Mezzi should find it. Gets the flick across. And that is another round picked up. London, 7 in the bank now.
Yeah, they just look so strong on this CT side so far. Royals haven't found much luck over towards that A site. They seem to be just about clawing those entries at the top of Banana. So that's really been the key area of the map so far for both these teams, but London just coming out on top. They've had stellar rotations, great pushes mid-round, and it's finding a lot of success for them. And again, early aggression down mid. Capis is ready for it this time.
Oh, the nade going to hit Capis and Emin.
Yeah, but Adam, he doesn't look too ready for this.
Ooh. It looked like he was aware there could be a play towards Logs at all, actually, as he just leaves himself susceptible to the attack. Fraser is going to trade it.
Did he just see the back of him? I don't think he did. Okay, Fraser.
Ooh. Yikes. Mezzi takes a bit of a pounding.
This could be huge, though, from Link. If he lets them run past them, could even get the bomb. He's just going to shoot, though.
Ooh.
I was going to say, still could have got Capers there, but could have preferred to see him have a bit of trigger discipline there and go for the huge play, but not to be. And Royals just stinting that London Esports aggression early into the round. Maybe a bit unneeded. You know, these rounds have been playing out quite nicely for London when Royals have to commit to bomb sites without the numbers, without the time. Just forcing the issue into this round, but that's fine. You know, a bit of change of pace doesn't hurt anybody. Their money's still looking good, Jack.
Is indeed. Going to go for the save as well. Mizzy should be able to get away scot-free with this one. Royals not really going to run the risk of doing anything too wild. At least it's another round built up, though, on their T side. Putting into somewhat of a position to have a good run there over on the CT half if they can try and keep this up. The buy will be coming back through for London, though. They've got the cash to splash. They won't need to worry about that as they can instantly reinvest into it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Fraser decides to play, whether he wants to go a bit more passive than he has been. Has been searching for these entry frags for his team, and again, going towards Banana. Looks like he's keen for a peek. Decent spawn for it. Here we go, lots of players up top of Banana. The nades go out. Massive damage dealt to the T side, not so much the CTs, and they're coming through the smoke as well. Link, if he can get his gun out in time, he can't. T's just waterfalling. It's all on Messi to get something done. Low T players, but they're winning the trades here, Jack.
Messi with a face around. Can't actually get the connections off, though. At this point, you're left on a 2 versus 4. 1 minute 15 left on the clock because the gas pedal has definitely been flawed for the T side. Adam, is there a possibility of an absolutely ludicrous play to come out of this man? Spots out the new box player, but he sees him too. Jenko gets the shot off. That's a 4K for big man Tom Jenkinson into this round, as it will go 7-5, Jake.
Yeah, very interesting to see London still very, very keen to fight this top Banana, and you know, they haven't even decided. We know that they're taking top very fast. Maybe we should just retake it later, molly that car, nade in, but they're just trying to brute force him. That's the second time someone's died in sandbags without having a real fight. You know, they can't get those support nades down in time, and it's costed them quite a few rounds here. They're in a very strong position, but Royals, they're fighting their way back into this, and Jenko already just spamming Adam through that smoke. He tries to aggress down bottom of Banana. There's just no utility really left on that CT side, apart from 2 smokes and a flash already going up. They are going to re-aggress round quad, going for a cheeky boost to see over the smoke. Don't have a lot of options here. Fighting mid could be quite strong for them if they get involved, but I mean, Link's walked off, so Craze all on his lonesome, so surely he just gets traded. Can't see him doing more than one kill here. Doesn't even get the entry.
That's huge. A big pick towards the site. The MP9 spray down's actually pretty lethal, Jake. Everyone was tagged. And there is a team frag that comes through. Fraser, he needed to hit that. And the follow-up shot as well. The whiffs leave them so susceptible to the attack. There's the potential timeline there where they get the follow-up picks. They leave themselves with the advantage on the retake. Instead, you've basically thrown that round away. Meaning it is going to go 7-6. This is not looking great. Considering it could have been such a dominant half for London if they would have carried on. Royals, they've definitely been scraping their way back into action, fighting tooth and nail into this game, Jake.
Here we go. Messi, giving it. Down Banana. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, the utility damage
the zeros and the one on Fraser. You love to see it. Easiest map in the game to get utility damage, and Fraser's been going towards that B bomb site quite a few times, but we'll forgive him.
Yeah.
Because he hits AWP shot. Oh. Well, that round he didn't, Jack. And it cost this team another round loss, because, like you said, things got very tetchy up on that quad area, and if he'd hit that first shot, potentially had time to get a second one away, but it's not to be, and only Messi left on this AWP here. London really struggling into the late half of the round. They just couldn't adapt to this top banana aggression as more nades come in. Adam gets beat back off the angle. And unless Messi can go absolutely huge with this AUG, and it does look like they're given a slight chance as they walk into B. Looks like it's just a contact play, and already actually Adam finds a 1D, and Royals, they're committing to this. They stop behind the smoke. They don't want to be sprinting through those. Always a terrible decision. Jenko now just tasked with getting a bit more map control towards that A-bomb site, but this is actually going to get quite scary for the Ts. We've already seen them lose multiple rounds to a 3-man stack at this bomb site. They're sort of just getting funneled in here. I wouldn't even be surprised if you see all the Ts just run back and charge up mid together, but Fraser's gone for a mad flank. Might not even get the right timing here. And yeah, the Ts are just grouping up towards that mid area. They've read the rotations right. This is going to be all on timing.
Fraser creeping up behind them, spots out the gun. As the read starts to get aggressive, good shots. Gets the first frag, but there is a trade. Jenko with the instant cha-cha slide. Hits him with the Ferrari peak. And we'll be able to eliminate Fraser. Left now in the 3 versus 4. Cray dancing around, trying to do something from behind the pole, but he cannot. His teammates are crumbling all around him as well. And it is just down to Link.
Yeah, unlucky. That just looked awkward as anything there in that Speedway CT section. Messi dropped somewhere without getting a kill. He was the linchpin in this round, and although it looked very scary for Royals for a second there, they do secure a 7th round, and they've really grown into this game, Jack. Rough start going into things, but they've just been brute forcing their way onto bomb sites at this point. That raw aim really coming in hot. Jenko's been having a bit of a blinder so far. And yeah, Link just forced to save T-Apps, holding onto that AK, taking it into the last round of the half. But London, not going to be too happy with themselves so far. Going to be wanting to secure that 8-7 lead. We'll see if they make any sort of adjustment towards that top banana. Maybe just some delayed nades. Let them take the top. Just rain fire upon them, Jack, and stop giving away that early pick. That would be my advice.
Yeah, they definitely need to try and switch things up a little bit here, as it's not been working well for them at all. At this point, you're now left into a 7-7. Whoever takes this will get the advantage at the half. And Royals could be moving on over to their CT side. If they go through with a foot forward, getting themselves an 8-7 scoreline, it could be very detrimental. Adam with constant aggression towards Banana. Luckily enough, though, he's wasted enough time that Messi's been able to send off 2 players to the Burns ward and get a follow-up frag onto Emin as well with his AUG. And it's just down to Capers and Carcass. Surely London don't lose this round.
I think that could get Messi up to something like 400, 500 utility damage after that, depending on how much that molly actually did to those 2 players. But finally, they win that fight, top banana. All 3 of those players use their nades this time. And there you go. That's what happens. Sometimes it just Works so much cleaner for the CTs. It looked very awkward when Adam swapped places with someone in that smoke. And yeah, left onto Carcass and Capers here. Carcass getting a nice tag onto Mezzy, but they're just getting Turtle up now. Off angle from Lynx. And yeah, left onto Carcass. Not much you can really expect to get done. Should have the info of where he is with that tag. Definitely do now. And nice effort, you know, just charging in. There you go, 8-7 into the half, Jack. London Esports stabilised a little bit at the end there. But, yeah, again, not going to be too happy with where that half ended up after such a strong start.
Yeah, it definitely could have been a lot more in favour of London if they would have been able to play at the style they had at the beginning of the game. Although, that be said, some of the rounds that were picked up by Royals hit or miss at the last few seconds of how this actually could have gone. Potentially a game of two halves here, though, as we move on over to the CT side for Royals. Just depends how they're going to opt to play it. In terms of the Twitter poll, it is an 88% favour to London overall, Jake.
Interesting. Royals, they had a very impressive T side. Sure, they might not be too well versed with these newer players slotting in on this CT side, but Inferno's a pretty basic map and they're all reasonably experienced players, so not too sure I'd be that heavily favoured of London, especially seeing how that first half ended. Should be getting into it relatively soon. Players just going for a little walk around at half time, you know, stretching.
Stretch his legs.
Yep.
You know, avoid the deep vein thrombosis. That's what you want to do.
Exactly. You know, you've got to stretch those hands as well. Get those daily stretches going. Don't want RSI.
No. You know, look after your limbs.
Exactly.
That's our motto here at ESL UK.
Gamer health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Limb aware.
Ooh.
Hashtag limb aware.
Nice.
There you go. Tweet us. Hashtag ESL Prem. Let us know which limbs you work out to keep them healthy for your gaming. Your forearm.
Look at this strat. They've got Mezzy with nades, getting a bit of info in mid, and everyone else is just sitting on bridge. I'm pretty sure I saw someone at Pro League do this, and I mean, I should know because I was observing it, but yeah, just the delayed cross into second mid, just in case Royals were getting up to any shenanigans, would have caught them out. Just looks like they're going to go for an apps pop straight off the back of this. Royals, not really sticking around the site, so it's all on Carcass. It's all on Aussie to get it done here, Jack.
Well, they've got out. They've been able to at least make their way up towards the bomb site nearly. Emin with the first frag, gets the shot off on towards Adam. Carcass forced to try and go for a reload as the swarm comes through. Cray up close and personal, gets not one, but two frags to open up the bomb site and allow them to finally start to secure this one. They can plant the bomb when they need to. Cray has it in his hands. We'll hammer in those numbers and get it down. And it's left into a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, I believe there is a kit on site, Jack. Should be on Aussie's body.
Oh. He crept up, he had the angle, spotted out Link because he was playing towards Graveyard. Cray as well, so susceptible for the sideline attack. But Jenko does it from the front instead. Mezzy just attempted to delay Jake as the push comes in. Royals, they don't give a damn. They're going to take that round. The retake was strong. Royals will pick this one up. A little bit of a celebration there as well on the side.
Yeah. You know, just a bit of a bro job, you know. Everyone's afraid. All still mates, you know. Just showing your teammates some love as they defuse the bomb. Doesn't hurt anybody.
That's what it's about.
That's Capers. That's two pistol rounds in a row where he gets 2 kills. He loves it, Jack.
He does.
Loves a pistol round.
Yeah, Capers definitely been having I'd say better and better seasons as they've been going on. Obviously, last season actually had quite a few impressive rounds. Had the 5k pistol on Nuke, if I remember correctly. You know, this season round again, it seems like that's actually been transitioning, and things have been looking good for the main man.
Yeah, a bit of a staple for the scene in recent years. You know, he's always up here producing some lineups, making things competitive. Yeah, gives his team a real good start into this second half here. London forced onto the deco. They've been getting things done with the pistols this game so far. Just looking for some tasty little entries as of yet. Royals, they're being sensible. They're not giving them anything to work with. Could get a bit scary as these T's group up towards the A-bomb site. But Carcass, lovely off angle. Just rips Mezzy clean up. His head's gone. His body's gone. Jenko's just destroyed Adam at the B-bomb site. Carcass, you know, they've got no armor, Jack, so...
Ooh.
How many times is he going to dink him?
I know. The constant goosh is coming through. At this point, we're left into a 2 versus 3 as well. Emin just taking the fight towards Pit. It's a matter of time until they go for this as a squad and work together. Fraser keeps himself low, ducks underneath the flash, tries to get the kill, can't quite muster it. They're going to bound back on site, and Royals now have the advantage. A 2K for Cape isn't that one. Another round picked up for the CT side.
Very impressive round from London, though. They'll be chuffed to bits with that. 3 kills and a bomb plant. You've only invested deagles onto every player there, so chuffed to bits with that. Royals really letting things slip up at the end there. Was looking very clean. They let London get those 2 initial frags to secure the bomb plant. Might have been a bit more dangerous if they picked up anything other than that MP9. However, round 18, first gun round of the half coming out. You see the battle of Banana once again as the team swap sides. Bit more reserve from London though. They don't want too much to do with this, and if they go fast towards A, could catch Royal sleeping. As they just secure that control, but yeah, it does look like they're going to speed things up, and it's only these 2 players left to defend this bomb site, Jack.
Back up towards the site, trying to play angles where they can turtle off a little bit and actually complement each other. The Molotov from Carcass to deny this push that's going to be coming through from Cray. He's taking a ton of damage from it before he actually deviates back. Emin on the site gets 1 as he connects that headshot up on towards Link. Carcass flicks around with the AWP, kills the first, but he's pushed from above and wasn't quite ready for that attack, leaving them in the 3 versus 3. 55 seconds on the clock now. The only utility they have left, and the whole server actually, is going to be 2 flashbangs, 1 for Cray, 1 for Jenko, and a smoke as well at the boot in his inventory. Peeks out at the right time to try and kill the player that's in Graveyard, but Fraser flicks across with the AWP. Misses the follow-up though, allows him to push out towards the bomb site. Luckily his teammates can complement him, and it's all on Capers. He'd need to win a clutch round here to actually save the day, but he's blown to bits by the HE.
Loves the hard shots, Fraser.
Yeah.
And then when he needs to, he sort of panics a bit on some of those easier frags, but doesn't come back to bite them. And London, after having such a good eco round the round before, have absolutely destroyed Royals' money, who themselves have to force straight back into this. It's not a pretty buy. You've got Deagles, CZs, Zeus's. And yeah, London, strong start with that gun round. Looking very impressive here. Arca's taken some fire damage. Doesn't have his fireproof boots on. So that's going to get quite warm in those apartments for him. Sitting there with that little taser.
Yeah, they've turned it up.
That's a nice little double nade at CT, and Capers is reeling. He can't even hear a thing. He's going to regress. He's got that happy angle. You know, he's thinking about facing. He doesn't really know what he wants to do. It's fine. London Esports, though, just grouping up now towards that top banana. Starting to get those initial nades in. Capers having to use his smoke at that 1 minute mark. Jenko does have another one, though, so if he times this right, could get very messy for London. However, whipping out that CZ after he throws that smoke might just take a bit too long. Oh my, the stack's coming in as well. They've got to be very fast about this or not, or just cancel. Ooh. And they have.
They bail.
Very good decision. Just run down mid, guns out, all 5 of you. Yeah, very nice decision making there. I'm not too sure who would have called that on that team, but sensible stuff coming in from London. They avoid the stack completely. 20 seconds left. Walked onto the A-bomb site. Not a CT in sight. There you go.
Yeah.
Could be 10 players all living this round, Jack.
Probably your uncle, it seems, as they have been able to get the bomb down. 5 players towards B, 5 players on A. An even trade, as they are going to let this one slip through and give another round back over to London. He read that one very, very nicely. Carcass not getting a chance to use his taser and make this one a little bit more electrifying.
You're right, Jack.
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. It was just the shock of the round.
Yeah. It was a shocking round, to be fair. Lots of excitement.
Mm.
But no, just reiterating, that was perfectly called from London. They had some really nice rotations on that CT side, and shows they've just got enough composure not to be too hasty in those scenarios. You see so many teams just barrel their way through that smoke. No cares in the world, you know. They're thinking, oh, we said commit, I guess we'll just go. But no, everyone's stopped, calmed down, run down mid. And there you go, 10 rounds on the board for London Esports. Royals just taking another eco, saving everything from that last round. One of the T's don't actually know chickens. Yeah. If you didn't know that, Jack. Scrawny little birds, basically.
Jenko, very fast play though. Gets himself in a position to potentially do some damage here if they actually do push up towards the apartments. Adam's already got another pick as Emin is down and out in a matter of seconds though. So it's a good start for London Esports and towards the round. You can see them getting that top banana control and being able to push with it. This also pretty much negates the play that we saw come out from Jenko into the early round. Capers has been brought down to 57 HP as well. And they still have all the utility in the world on London. Adam pushes through the smoke. He should be able to find the entry frag there on towards Capers, but they still pull back. They're going to use their utility and then re-execute towards the site.
Yeah, again, another sensible anti-eco coming out from London. Just going to be waiting those smokes out. Like you said, just going to re-aggress after this. Jenko's flank could be a bit interesting. Adam seems more or less aware of the possibility, however. Timing might not be on his side. Might actually be able to get behind him. He does. But he decides to shoot Adam, realising takes an AK for his trouble. Aussie surely shouldn't be able to get anything done here. Might actually sneak through the smoke.
I'm going to be going down. Aussie won't instantly react to try and deny the plant or do anything too outrageous. Jenko's now rotated over into a good position.
This could be scary. You know, if Jenko wanted to get involved, Aussie's still got a kit, but just looked for a second there that Jenko might, you know, try and get involved with the action, and things could fall apart in those sorts of situations. But Aussie creeps through the smoke and dealt with. Yeah. Once again, clean anti-eco coming out. It's been a weird day, Jack. We've seen some nice anti-ecos. We've seen some absolutely abysmal rounds, but I'd say overall, I want to say that we've seen more teams convert ecos than lost them. You know, might be wrong, depending on that Endpoint reflex game. However, this game, London, they're doing it clean. Jenko getting another kill for his troubles. Going to save that AK. Always very beneficial on that CT side. The Royals, their money isn't fantastic. You've got Emin going glass orb, Capers, all one nade. It's not really ideal on a map like Inferno. You really want to get those HEs and mollies in. Some can get very rough if you can't get those entries. Emin's going straight for it. Fair play. He's going to get flashed off the angle, however. You can see he's desperate to get an early kill. Already getting smoked off.
Heavy aggressive banana control already coming through. The nade bounces around a little bit, lands towards the cubby and doesn't actually get anyone, unfortunately. They're going to boast the player up.
They're going to boast the player up, aren't they?
They are. They're going to boast him up. They're going to big him up, Jake, get his confidence up.
Looks like the T's want to just go contact B here. Surprise Royals with a change of pace here, and it's Jenko and Capers. Capers getting the first kill already. Already dropped the Jenko, huge spray. Does finally get traded by Link, and it's a 3v2. Still very winnable for the T's here if they play this smartly.
Rotate's coming back over. Link casting out the smoke to try and block it off towards CT. Buy his team some time to play with here. Fraser as well being the second man, has the AWP. Scopes in towards Banana currently. Aussie is taking his sweet time as he clears it, slowly walking his way up.
I feel like that's a missed smoke from Carcass as well.
Yeah, they have smoked themselves a little bit. It did give them the opportunity to actually cross off the back of the flashbang, but all of them are just running into Fraser. Now they're just going to try and run away. Emin doesn't want to lose the scope. And that is actually going to be another round picked up for London. A 12-9 scoreline. 2 players single-handedly defending the site there versus the army of CT.
Yeah, just looked like a disastrous retake. Pretty sure that was Carcass with the smoke. Couldn't see it too perfectly, but from the outline it looked like he went to smoke off top Banana. And it sort of just dribbled off the wall and smoked them off CT. And
yeah,
from there, Fraser just mows them down with his AWP. And Royals, they're going to be kicking themselves. 3v2 into the round, they don't even make it look close. Emin still has this AWP, however. Going to be going for an early pick. comes that banana. And a bit of aggression coming in from Abs as well.
Yeah, Carcass once again with his play. Let's see if this time he can actually get something for his troubles. Absolutely not. A big dink at least. An Aussie in position to try and push his way back through. Goes for the pre-fire. Link will trade it. Here's the thing. Emin still has that AWP in hand. It's a 3 versus 4. They are re-rotating back over towards the A site. You're going to have 2 players there by the time these can actually push out onto the site. Capers is coming down, clearing bottom banana.
Yeah, but there's surely no way London don't have a sniff over at that banana side of the map just to clear some of it out before the end of this round. They're just sitting strong at the moment, seeing if Royals want to aggress. Probably going to be trying to sniff out that AWP if they can. Just running to the other bomb site. However, they are just grouping up towards Apps. You said Capis has all the info, so Emin's happy enough to stick around here. Might want to shift over towards the actual bomb site so he can get involved. This push is just coming in. Brutal pace from the T's. To find this kill though.
Just couldn't hit the shot, Jake. Couldn't land it. Mezzi will be able to take his head clean off. At this point, you left into a 4 versus 2. The likelihood of the win is going to be incredibly marginal. And instead, going to scavenge to try and find that AK. I think they were smart and did actually throw it over the hill, though, so it is going to be out the window and far away. They won't be able to salvage that one. Words are quite struggling at this point. The trade, however, Jake, the AWP still potentially going to be saved for Emin if he can get out of here. He's being tagged up. Looks like he still actually is opting to try and fight this. There's a player watching out for the balcony window as well, so the likelihood of survival is getting worse and worse every second for him. Adam will get the kill with the AK, and it goes 13-9.
Yeah, I'm not too impressed with Emin's positioning there. Not too sure what he's expecting to come around Arch in that situation. Just maybe stack towards that bomb site. If they come, fair play. You've got so much time on the Capers rotation. If he spots them bottom banana, but just didn't really want to get involved that round. And another round for London Esports, who are looking very, very clinical on their T side. All of those issues on that CT side, they're not cropping up. They're looking very well oiled. And Royals starting to show signs of more of a mixed style team and sort of falling apart on the CT side. Jenko, however, had a strong game so far and finally got the AWP in his hands. Emin has bought another one for his troubles. So apparently that's the answer here, Jack. I guess we'll have to see. Yeah,
see if this AWP on Jenko can do any damage, if he'll have some big impact. 21 kills to his name right now. By far the top fragger for the side of Royals. It looks like coming in, boosting him up, yeah, and try and go for this peek across, or potentially the run boost. But the barrel's been seen.
Oh, this is so awkward.
The timing though, Jake, he's able to extend out, gets the kill on Fraser, and here comes the aggression, the double Molotov. They're going to instantly burn him alive as Adam is taken down in a matter of seconds. Jenko as well, playing from the new box. It's an easy shot off to get the further frag. This is a beautiful halt towards the B site, and Royals will take that one with ease.
Yeah, there you go. Jenko always going to shut those sorts of situations down. Just so skilled as a player. And when you're giving him angles like that to work with, it was a nice idea from London, just trying to change the pace up a bit. They've had very slow rounds on this T side so far, so just trying to surprise them with a burst. But once you lose that initial entry, they've got that double molly down. It's always going to be so hard to get into that B-bomb site. And fair enough, they take a tactical pause, calm things down. They might actually not know that they've got a double AWP in play. They might be thinking Jenko's just had that AWP dropped over to him. I'm not sure what sort of info they got over at the other side of the map, but didn't seem to find that much. So they might actually be anti-stratting against a single AWP pitcher. And potentially their game plan next round might not even take into consideration that Emin's got an AWP on the other side of the map. So we'll have to see what their plan is going into this 24th round. So far, so good for London Esports. Gonna have to bounce back sooner or later though, or else Royals could really get stuck into this game. However, their economy is not too strong at the moment, and if they were to lose this, Royals would be in another sticky situation.
Waiting for this push to come up. Seeing if it is going to be the initial A bombardment. Everyone grouped up, waiting to try and strike whilst the iron's hot. They're actually rotating the players over. Emin is going to be heading all the way over towards B. Jenko's come in to try and fill his shoes at the A site. Link will get the first kill on towards Aussie. Now the rotation has to come back around. Jenko boosted up, gets a kill at the very least. Nearly the flick onto the man behind him. Alerts Carcass to the play. But he wasn't ready, Jake. Couldn't actually spray down and eliminate them. And they're so far apart. Emin's already on the scene of the crime. Capers has to come all the way up mid. They've got 55 seconds, and the bomb has now gone down. They do have utility on that side of Royals. They can flash themselves in if they need to. They've got the aggressive utility as well. A HE and a Molotov. Fraser, alert of where they are. Misses the initial shot, somehow able to get the follow-up off, though. And Messi just goes for the full frontal assault. The nade did damage to him, and he knew he was low. Confidence saves the day as he lands that bullet right between his eyes, and that is a 14th picked up for London.
Fraser very fortunate to get away with that. Not sure what his positioning is. You know, obviously that's utility damage from this off before anyone gets too concerned, but yeah, Fraser playing very forward. Like, he didn't even seem to know that the site wasn't as close to him as he thought, and almost got punished for it. Somehow flicks around, gets another kill, and secures London that round. And oof. Yeah, Capers going for that early aggression. He's got that orb. Used his spawn, but can't get anything done for it. Takes so much damage in the process, and still hanging around top banana. Gonna get flashed as well, and punished. That's what happens when you hang around. Adam, double entry onto that B bomb site. He doesn't care. Ben doesn't care observing. You know, we don't need to see it. Adam just charging his way through to that CT side, and yeah, Capers, he was just hanging around top banana, 30 HP, gets flashed off, running back to site, and Adam's just far too quick for him. Another stellar round on this T side. London have been phenomenal since switching over.
Wild stuff here as we are left into the 4 versus 3. Adam spots the head of Emin
It's
out.
the ace. Another one.
Yeah, he is absolutely giving it. There is potential for it. Although he got thrown down. Aussie able to throw hands against him. Aussie really making this quite costly for the side of Royals. However, it's not going to matter. Money really isn't the commodity here anymore. At this point, it's just being able to close down the game. This will be round 15. They'll need one round to shut it down entirely. Find themselves victory here, and they are swarming. They do not want Carcass to save this weapon at all. However, this is costing them so much money, Jake. Each and every one of them is going to go down here, you'd imagine. Fraser somehow survives with 4 HP and clutches onto the orb.
Yeah, it's a messy one. However, fully agree with the idea to hunt him there. Even if everyone died, I wouldn't be too fussed, as you know Royals are just scrapped for cash, and that AWP was a huge asset going into this final round, potentially for them, and now they've just got nothing. They've got 1 M4, 2 M4s on Emmy, and Aussie a shotgun on Carcass. Deagle on Jenko. Surely you drop over that M4 to Jenko, who's been absolutely giving it this game. However, not going to be the case, and Emin not been having a great game, really has to step up here. Looking over the smoke. Can't find anything, but Jenko, there he is. Getting that entry in Carcass. The XM and Boiler, he's going for another one.
Oh, he wants more. Oh, he wants even more, Jake. He's just eating his way for everyone. That's a 3K picked up. The auto shotty, proving that he can just annihilate with it, and they walk their way back into him. Carcass somehow getting the 4K there. The shotgun superstar playing for Boiler.
Okay, and then that hunt from the previous round really comes back to bite them. You know, I was giving them all the credit for it. However, when you rush that map point round like that, it's just it's always going to come bite you. You know, Jenko gets that top banana pick, and it seems to sort of scare London into pushing them towards that top mid, and they just got caught out from every angle. Carcass with a huge play with that XM, getting far more than he ever should. And yeah, London wouldn't be too surprised if they force this just to get it over with. However, I believe they might be able to buy in the round after this if they do decide to just eco this and get it on the chin. But yeah, it's not a great situation for them to be in. They are going to force into this just to equalize the money here. They've got 1 AK on Fraser. Definitely doable. They really need to reset after that pretty shocking round there. Royals probably not even considering themselves to win that, but here we go, all kicking off top banana. Capers, Carcass, they're shutting it down. no hope for London into this round, and this is getting close, Jack.
It is indeed.
Another game going to the wire.
I mean, potentially so, Jake, right? At this point, it could actually continue to possibly lead us in towards an overtime scenario. However, there's still some rounds of leeway to play with. London, all they got to do is compose themselves. Get themselves back into a position to shut this game down. Link is left in the 1 versus 5. 1 minute on the clock. Link, can you do anything here to try and at least make this more costly for that CT side economy? Capers falls down and is also eliminated.
Yeah, this is going to get very awkward for London. They're going to have to decide when they really want to buy. Assuming it has to be the next round coming up, just take this full eco, get it over and done with. But if they lose that, and they don't get the bomb down, it's going to be an awkward round into the round after that, and then we're in overtime, Jack. So, scary situation for London, who have looked so good on this T side. They just fall on the end here.
Oh, Emin lined up to really just have a bit of a massacre as everyone's going to run towards him. That's a 4K as he slaughters his way for everyone, switches out to the CZ. Easy eco ace.
Nice little stat pad.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't having a great game, but that makes things look
A bit
much
better.
more respectable. Gets him up there with the pack. And here we go. We have to see what London's response here is to this CT aggression. No Warp on Fraser. Been finding a lot of success with that weapon, so gonna have to see how his style changes with the AK in hand. Here we go. Fire Banana coming in again, Jack.
Ozzy just pushes his way down instantly. They're going to nade it as well. Jenko with the first pick finds the headshot on towards Adam. Ozzy looking to trade it. They now know that he's there. They swing into him. And big man King Mezzi proving why he just reigns above with that crown firmly planted on his head. A 2K into the round, and he wants some more. Makes his move over towards the B site. Capers will be the Lone Ranger, designated to hold it. Carcass has pushed in towards second mid, and Craig could be walking into his demise here. He doesn't realize, walk straight through, has his head peeled off.
Got the bomb as well, Jack. Such an awkward situation for London now. There you go, Emin with another one. Emin got a fantastic refrag. As soon as those two players dropped at Banana, he re-aggressed. Wow, that player in mid, and not sure what that bomb was doing there in the balcony,
Ooh.
but it's not ideal. And Messi, he's got to save this entire round for his team. Got those two stellar entries. Now he's going to have to ace. 1v3 clutch.
Is it possible? Making a ton of noise. There's a man right behind him. Emin holding the close angle. Messi jumps through the air, somehow gets the kill. He's picked up the 4K. He's done more damage than he needs to in this round, but he still has to give more. 20 seconds. Clears the angles towards the site, trying to make his move up. Dubious about where Capers could be playing from. 14 seconds left. He needs to commit to the plant now. The adrenaline pumping through this man's veins, Jake. He gets the bomb down. 2 flashes to play with. Capers is in the apartments, creeping his way through. Trying to stay low to the ground. It's all based on timing from this point forward. Mezzi gets himself back. He's able to hide and play this one out. He could play around from arch side now if he wants to. Capers is walking on towards the site. Taps the bomb to try and force the face. Mezzi, will he fall for it? Peeks it. Goes straight into the awaiting arms of Capers. Gives him the kill. And that is going to be a 15-14 scoreline.
Yeah, just lots of patience on Capers. Holding his nerve there not to re-tap the bomb. Messi walking all the way around the site. But just walk straight into that crosshair of Capers, and this really is going all the way, Jackie. Could be going into an overtime situation. Yeah, very unlucky for Messi not to get the ace there. It was a huge round from him. Honestly, momentum fully in Royals' side here is a bit of aggression coming towards Top Banana. They're down to 2 MAC-10s on the T side. This is all sort of falling apart in these last few rounds. Gonna really have to dig deep. But we've already seen this B hold be very strong for them. Jenko and Capers, they've been on the ball so far. It looks like just going to be the straight up execution. A little bit of a fake being sold towards A. It's an arch smoke, but nothing more than that. He's holding the rotate as we speak. However, K-Piz and Jenko, they're ready for this. They've got the nades. Volley's going to be coming out surely. Here we go, Jack.
Push comes through. Tons of damage already done to the T side. However, it's a 1-for-1 trade. K-Piz looking through that smoke, trying to spot someone out. Molotov bounces across towards Garden. He takes so much damage, Jake, on the recoil away towards Garden. He's going to flash over. 3 of the 4 CTs are in close proximity to attempt to mount this retake. Mezzi peeking down towards Banana. He's always on the ball with being able to find these opponents. They're trading it back. They leave it to the 3v2. Aussie sprints up, clears it, but it doesn't matter. They're going to be able to take them down. That is the victory picked up in the end. They wanted to make you wait for it and salivate for that one, as it is a 16-14 win. London Esports will find victory over Royals in the end on Inferno. Wow, lengthy game. Another one going the full 30 rounds, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, Jack, I love this new economy. You know, you see all the rounds, all the time, all the gun rounds, as many as you like. I love it, personally, yes.
Wow.
But yeah, that last round there, Jenko got that first kill, but I want to feel like K-Piz, if he sticks around there, you've got that molly up already. If you're just spamming through with that org and Jenko's facing, maybe you sort of just mow them down as they come in. However, went into the post plant and Fraser got 3 absolutely fantastic kills in that last round and took his team to victory. Yeah, very impressive from London. Although it was a 16-14, they looked the favourites throughout most of this game. Strong start on their CT half, however, dropped off a bit, and yeah, very strong T side, however, got very scary at the end there, but he pulled through, Jack.
Madness, Jake. Just absolute madness there across the course of that matchup. And I think across the course of the entire day today, we've had some ridiculous feats, some wacky rounds, and some top plays across the board. This one finally wrapping it up for the night, though, as we did see the victory for London Esports. Unfortunately, we couldn't see that clutch from Mezzi being the one that sealed the deal, as it would have just been ridiculous in terms of the individual performance that man put up. This was really the turning point of the game as well. Carcass, just with the auto shotgun, somehow made a meal out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that round, you're 15-10 up. You're against a very, very weak buy, and sure, that's not going to happen every day, but definitely gave Royals a real chance into that game. Could have squeezed it to overtime, and yeah, we see the results for this entire day, Joe.
Yeah, there you have it. Of course, up first was our default game, where the Pensioners, unfortunately unable to field a roster, were beaten out by Wyndham Rain off the server, just through the admins, really. But game 2, a little bit more of an interesting one, obviously over on Train. We saw Russell and the boys unable to pick up another victory there. That was, of course, taken by Fierce. They shut it down. Fry and Astro proving to still be a very dominant force as a duo. Endpoint barely clutching it out on Overpass, Jake. I think that one had you biting your nails a little bit.
Yeah, very sketchy game from Endpoint. Again, looked very strong on their T side. However, CT was a complete mess, playing absolutely crazy setups at times, very disconjointed, and yeah, just about skin of their teeth. 16-14 on Overpass.
Yeah, and the 16-14 on Inferno there finally as well, that you did just witness, with London Esports shutting it down to save the day. Absolute madness. But let's see how that has affected things overall in our global standings for the league so far. So the first, second, and third teams that are firmly slotted in and have their confirmed spots there being Fierce, Endpoint, Pensioners, and then London just below them. Obviously, unfortunate for Pensioners, we never know what could have been if they were able to play today's game. Instead, though, they do take that default loss.
Yeah, Pensioners, they've looked very good in these last 2 weeks. Like, very structured for the mix that they are. You know, they were just playing very nice Counter-Strike between the 5 of them, and yeah, to start losing with default losses, it's not really what you want to see in a competitive league. And yeah, the only real glaring issue from that standings, I'd say, would be BuzzKill starting to get a little bit worried. You know, they had such an impressive debut season last year, and you know, things are getting a bit scary so far.
Yeah, absolute madness there. But that is it, obviously, with the group standings. Now we have those games played out. Next week, though, there is going to be even more damage coming up for you guys to witness. Tune back in, same time, same place, obviously, with the following Monday. We're going to have Endpoint versus Royals to kick us off. BuzzKill and War is our second game. London versus Reflex, and then finally it'll be Fierce versus Pensioners. So some juicy matchups going into next week here on the Premiership. What are your overall thoughts of the day, Jake?
Yeah, just anti-ecos going, which anyway, you know, you take an eco round, you take an eco round, we'll just trade them. It's fine.
Just divvy them out.
Yeah.
Divvy them out.
So, yeah.
Well, that is it. Before we go, though, we obviously have to pay homage to our highlight of the week and see what was the big tuna this time around. Let's have a look which play it was. It seems it's going to be the MN5K, the Eco Takedown, the stat padder.
Very challenging, of course. You know, 5 Glocks running at you with no armor. Takes a lot of skill to do that.
I'd like to see you do that.
Okay. Don't know why you have to make it personal, but fine. Yeah.
But that's it. That's all we have time for this week on the ESL Premiership. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Of course, none of this would be possible without our wonderful sponsors, Intel, Curry's PC World Gaming, PaySafeCard, and AOC. I've been Jackie. That's been Jake. You don't need to see him anymore because he is just outrageous. Oh, he's creeping into the shot. Well, you've ruined it now.
Ooh.
You've ruined it.
Yikes.
So I guess you're going to have to do the outro from here.
See ya.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.